With the Knights playing as well as they are, you will not want to miss seeing their next home game in person. Baltimore comes to town for the first time to Metro Stadium. It's the next New York Knight home game. Call 1-800-GO-KNIGHTS. Get your tickets now. Or you can listen live here. Oh, look at Parkeet Scholl! This is ridiculous! That is another touchdown! Parkeet Scholl! I'm speechless. I can't believe this guy. I mean, look at the burst of speed at the second level.
4 down linemen for Louisville in what appears to be a 4-2-5 set. Coleman back to pass. Coleman pump fake, and then a sack. Rick O'Reilly with the big play to force the Houston punter on the field for the first time tonight. And for O'Reilly, that's sack number 7 on the season. O'Reilly, a monster on the inside. Big play there for the Louisville defense.
First and 10 of the 26, Marconi dropping the throw. And Marconi against the late blitz will go deep down the field, and that one is caught! Past Grayson Abarazzo! Shigeki can't catch him! It's a Mauler touchdown! The 3rd touchdown for Abarazzo in the game, and it just looked like the Legend defense kind of got tangled up, and Grayson went for the pick, and he over-pursued.
That was just an outstanding throw by Rocco. I mean, he's 6'5", I believe. Yeah, he's 6'5", 225, long, rangy, strong, quick arm.
Rastelli back to pass. Rastelli going to the end zone. Pass is caught for a touchdown. Kendall Gilbert, and Baltimore's on the board. Give me some of that crab call. Baltimore cuts into their early deficit. Rastelli's got 6 touchdowns and no picks in the last 6 quarters of action. 2nd and 2 at the 40. Christensen will pass again. They are staying away from Kim. That ball, oh, it's belted up in the air, and Nick Nitro picked it off. That is tremendous defensive effort. Who dove in front of that pass? That was a Qantas Shine, who dove in front of the pass and knocked the ball up in the air. That was one of the best defensive plays I've seen in a long time out of a Qantas Shine. A.J. Levy, 6 seasons, all with Sioux Falls, the strong safety number 42. Chris Dodd, free safety in his 3rd season, wears number 49. Alex Parker and Nick Fargo, the linebackers, 91 and 92 respectively, as Rahman steps up in the pocket. Rahman gonna air it out deep, and Thomas Rahman's pass intercepted off the deflection by A.J. Levy. What a play by the veteran.
Well, you mentioned it, Cam. Levy and Dodd, probably the best safety combo here in the SFL. And Levy, a longtime veteran leader of this defense, comes away with his 6th interception.
So 4 receivers set here on 3rd down and goal. I guess this won't be a run. Christensen in the gun, looking towards the end zone, firing into the back of the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown. The Pride extend their lead.
What a throw by Christensen again. Has all day to throw and a post route. And that one, I mean, it's not bad coverage by Chappelle. It's just a perfect throw and a great route by Ken.
3rd down and 2 from the 12. Go Knights rings throughout Metro Stadium. St. Clair to pass. St. Clair to the end zone. Intercepted. Oh no! Joe Lynn picked it off. You gotta be kidding me. And 1 first down will give the Crabs yet another 1-possession victory over New York. 2nd and 4 at the 41-yard line. Hand off to Overstreet, right side. Overstreet makes 1 man miss, and then another. And here goes Overstreet off to the races. Down the sideline, 20. He will be not tackled, and he scores again. 17th touchdown for David Overstreet. And Louisville has scored 19 straight points. And Overstreet is checking on the pulse of Oklahoma City.
Welcome, everyone, to this week in the SFL, week number 3, alongside Paul Sarp. I'm Cameron Irvine, and we're ready for Impact Monday. Although we got to talk about that, Paul. But Paul, how's it going?
Oh, it's going great, Cam. Yeah, that's definitely something we're going to have to talk about here. Because, again, the fans of the show last week were not happy with us in the chat, and they were forcing us to change the name. They've had it up to here with us already, and it's only week 3.
Mike's already in the chat, but
yep, he's already going.
I can't see you. I think we're gonna have to get a poll going, league wide. I don't know what's gonna come out of that, what's gonna win, but you know, we'll see. I'll say it one time at some point tonight, just for him. But until then, it is Impact Monday, and we continue on. Mexico City and Houston. Mike Dagg's Aztecs, now retired, up in the owner's box. He's an old man now. And Mexico City is used to this opponent. This will be the 18th meeting. And the Aztecs and the Headhunters, I mean, this is another one of those rivalry games, Paul, that is so underrated, so undervalued. These games are so fun to watch. And now in prime time, we actually get to see it up close and personal tonight.
Oh, it's going to be awesome tonight, Cam. Again, like you said, the 18th time these teams have met. There's a 9-8 record against these two teams. Again, I believe it's Mexico City trying to tie it up and do it in an away game. Again, we saw a lot of away teams win this week. So can Mexico City get it done on the road tonight?
Looking forward to breaking down this matchup throughout the night. Tyler Falk and Chris Curtis are back at studios for halftime and postgame. Mike O'Neill's got your game preview. We got fantasy football updates. Ashley Jackson's got PGI. You know the show. You know how it goes. And we are ready to go. So let's get at it. Week 3 headlines, Paul. The Central dominance. Tulsa, Indianapolis improved to 2-1, while Minnesota flexes their muscles over rival Sioux Falls. About these defenses stepping up out here. Denver and Atlanta holding opponents to single digits. No one had done that yet this season. Both of them did it this week. Road Warriors, Portland, Louisiana, and others who were actually underdogs on the road, winning anyway. And more road teams won than home teams for the second straight weekend. Kanye Rockefeller had a big kick return. We'll get to that game here in a little bit as well, Paul. But of these headlines, what most excited you this week?
Seeing all these road teams win, because again, typically here the home teams hold their ground and they pull through at home. So to see all these teams come in on the road and just walk into the other opposing team's stadium and taking over the stadium and winning, that's awesome to see to me.
We'll get to Denver making some history again here in a little while as well, but they got their first win of the season. But man, that Minnesota team is something else. We got more to talk about with the Minnesota legend later on tonight. How about the week 3 players of the week? We got to start with a fullback this week. Come on, man. Chris Komisak, 67 yards, 3 touchdowns as a fullback. I got to go dig into those record books because I don't know if that's ever happened. Warren Murray, nothing sexy, but man, did he blast through DC. 4 rushing touchdowns in that game, and Baltimore humbled the Dragons once again. Robert Merrill, 36 touches, 198 all-purpose yards, and 4 touchdowns. Ryan Roosevelt, can anyone stop this dude? 14 catches for 218 yards and 3 scores this week. And Tom Krieg with a dangerous pick 6 that proved to be the difference for San Diego. Also turned in 5 tackles and got another pick as well. Krieg now 5 interceptions in the first 3 weeks, but he is not your interception leader. That's King Rashid over in Motor City. He's got 6. And Paul, you get the honors. I give you 5. You give me 1. Who's the ultimate player from week 3 for you?
Ultimate player from week 3. It's so hard to choose one. But again, looking at this list here, how do you not give it to one of the two between Robert Merrill or Ryan Roosevelt? Again, Ryan Roosevelt absolutely cooked us in when Indianapolis played Seattle. And again, to put to put that stat line up, just an incredible game from Ryan Roosevelt. And again, Robert Merrill just showing the league why he is who he is, just taking over. 36 touches, 198 yards, 4 touchdowns. Just incredible performance from Robert Merrill.
So that's a look at some of the players of the week from the weekend. Damon Simeon in the chat says, how can there be players of the week when the week isn't over yet? Because it's my show, and you're incorrect because you didn't super chat it, and I can do whatever I want. Something like that.
We got to get the super chats up. We haven't seen one yet, Cam.
No, haven't seen one yet. Skippy and Curtis can't carry everybody. It's becoming a tradition here on Impact Monday, and I'm just giving Damon a hard time. Sometimes Damon types in the chat, and he doesn't realize he's going to get roasted, and then it happens. So, you just kind of set yourself up for failure there. But Houston, before we get to some highlights, Paul, Houston is not your average 0-2 team. They have lost some heartbreakers, but this team's pretty good. I would suspect not a lot of teams have the series history advantage over Mexico City. I would expect we'll see a pretty good showing out of Houston tonight.
Oh, it's definitely going to be a good game. Again, Houston, heartbreaking losses, losing by 3 both weeks this season. Again, they're a good team. They're a tough team. And just 2 heartbreaking losses, a whole lot of football left in the season. So, again, I don't think Houston's going to change anything with their game plan. They're going to be coming into this matchup tonight the same way they did the last 2 weeks. Again, they just got to find ways to get it done. And like you said, I think it is going to be a great game tonight.
All right, Paul, they call it Minnesota nice, right? They say, oh, everybody, you come up north, we're going to treat you well. Well, I call the legend Minnesota mean. Let's get to the highlights. Sioux Falls and Minnesota. First offensive play for the legend is this stretch handoff to Colin Hart, and he is only just a little bit, just on the ankle, touched by one dude. 7-3 Minnesota, and Colin Hart set the tone on that run, no question about that. Next carry for Hart. Look at that. Nobody touches him again. Past midfield. Good effort there by the Sparrows defense to corral him. He gets down to the Sioux Falls 27-yard line, but much of the damage is already done. Look at that stat. 136 yards on those first 2 carries. How about Johnny Reno? 6 incompletions in the first 2 games. He hits Buchanan Simons over the middle to get the legend back in the red zone. Now it's Comisac time. Just mentioned his 3 touchdowns. There's one of them. 14-3 quickly, just like that. Minnesota over Sioux Falls night. Comisac, number 2, 20-3. I mean, before you blinked, oh my gosh, I can't even get through a sentence. 28-3. Colin Hart gets into the end zone. I mean, this was a brutal bloodbath in the first half. Sparrows would respond. Julian Tyree to Jason Williams, only 8 carries in this game. He did have 11 catches as well. 28-10. We go to late in the third quarter. Sioux Falls defense finally starting to figure some things out. So is Julian Tyree to Noe Terrasis. 28-17. Too much legend running game. 35-17. Comisac number 3. We show you everything around here. And the defense finish them off. In the fourth quarter, Tyree drops back to pass. And look at that. 4 different pass rushers in on a 5-man pressure from Minnesota, and the legend win 38-23. Paul, this Minnesota team, by the way, Johnny Reno had 6 incompletions in this game, or 5 incompletions rather in this game. I don't know what was wrong with him. So now 11 over the first 3 games. He has 1 interception. The only interception came off of a Hail Mary last night at the end of the first half. So you kind of throw that up and say, well, that wasn't really all his fault. So before we get to Minnesota, Paul, as you've got the Minnesota green behind you, Jack Wall with a $5 super chat says, say it 3 times fast. SFL Fantasy, SFL Fantasy, SFL Fantasy, or does he want me to say Wade Boggs Carpet World 3 times? I'm not really sure. Confusing. Wade Boggs Carpet World, Wade Boggs Carpet World, Wade Boggs Carpet World. I don't know if that's a joke or not, but I said both just in case. So, Paul, Minnesota, just seemingly unstoppable. Baltimore is also seemingly unstoppable. I'm not sure if we're on a crash course or not, but I pose you this question. Do you believe that Minnesota is the second best team in the SFL, and if not them, who?
So for me personally, Minnesota's playing great. I'm not going to take that away from them, but to me personally, I don't think they're number 2 yet, Cam. You still have to knock off the finalists last season, again, with Baltimore. You have Arizona, who is also still undefeated, getting it done. So I would put Minnesota at 2.5. They're just not there yet for me to pass Arizona.
Yeah, all right, so you got Arizona 2, Minnesota 3, still going here after 3 weeks. 5 unbeatens to go. We'll talk about more later. For now, back to the highlights. The game of the week, Seattle at Indianapolis. Trellis Blanton, first quarter, hits Dean Jackson in the back of the end zone. That would not be the only touchdown of this game. Some games didn't have any touchdowns this week. Blanton going down the field, but instead picked off by Bryant James, last season's #1 pick. And who was that with the vicious hit at the end of this interception?
That was a very vicious hit there at the end, and shouts out to my guy Bryant James, but I had to let him know how we do it here in Seattle. Sure, I'm on offense, but I can make a hit too, you know.
Ridiculous. End of the first quarter, Ryan Roosevelt, this dude has been unstoppable in the first 3 games he scores, puts Indianapolis up 10-7. Trellis Blanton hands off to Baloo Scott, and Scott's in the end zone for the score. 14-10 Seattle. 4 minutes to go in the first half. Blanton again, touchdown to the back of the end zone. That was such a pretty pass. It hits the fullback, Powell. So now 21-10 Seattle. But third quarter, 21-13 off the punt. Kanye Rockefeller with a stop and go, breaking ankles. Rockefeller with 1 man to beat. Oh, the punter just too weak. Just too weak. Touchdown Rockefeller, 21-19. That started the trend of insanity in this instant classic. Pierce out to Christian Pierce. That's from Colin Pierce, and we're tied at 21. Late third quarter, Trellis Blanton. Jump ball! I got it. Gus Scott with the catch in traffic. 28-21 Seattle.
What a throw by Trellis here, Cam. What a dot.
Pretty ball. Puts Seattle up 7. Start of the fourth quarter. Pierce, deep, Roosevelt. Who else? 2 missed tackles, and Roosevelt's down to the 13-yard line. At that point, 140 through the air on just 9 grabs. Big third down here for Indy. Under 10 to go. Colin Pierce, touchdown. Who else? Ryan Roosevelt. Tie game. Indy up 7 now. Blanton not giving up. With 2:19 to go, hits David Gears. That is 5 different Seattle players with a touchdown in this game. 35 all, 1:10 to go. Picked off by Brady Clark. Oh, Seattle, they've got it. They've got it in their grasp. Maybe they'll force overtime. Maybe they'll go down and kick a game-winning field goal. I don't know. That's what the highlight package is for. Go. Come on, go. Hurry. 107 left at the 20. Blanton gonna make it happen. Oh, no, it's picked. That's the worst thing you can do in that situation. And Indy has new life. I imagine this is what Paul is like watching this at this moment on his couch. Just totally speechless.
Absolutely, Cam. Just totally speechless. Just an incredible game. One of the wildest games I've seen. This play here, going for it on 4th and 7 and converting. We don't see that too often. And to watch that live, it's heartbreaking to watch being on the other team. But for Indianapolis, what a great finish to this game for them.
Hit Randy Pierce on the 4th down, and then the game-winning field goal from 38 is good. Indy wins 38-35, and Ashley Jackson caught up with Doug Day after the game.
All right, everybody, welcome back to PGI. And we have Mr. Doug Day. He is the GM, and he is a good friend, as well as strong safety for Seattle Nemesis. Man, Doug, I mean, it was 35-35, 3 seconds left in the fourth quarter, and Indianapolis won with a walk-off field goal, man. And We, as an Arizona Scorpion, we have been victim of that, a couple times. But tell me, what could Seattle have done differently to actually pull out that win?
Actually, I really don't think there was much more that we could have done. I mean, we struggled week 1 and week 2. We put some stuff together. David Harrell, our OC, put together a great playbook for Indy. Our defense was there, but there was just, the bad breaks, like every sports teams, they go through. Indy came out, put together a great playbook, great plan. I think next time we go to Indy, though, I don't think we're going to go out with Ernest McRae and Bryant James, because I think they took us to some hot spots that, kind of got us a little tipsy, and we had a little few drinks.
Got it. See, that's how you wait till after the game for that. See?
But no, I mean, it was a great fight. I mean, it was left and right, up and down, so it was a good one.
Indeed, it was.
Chad and Adam definitely knew we were coming, so.
Indeed, it was. And you guys are different.
Oh yeah.
You guys are definitely playing a different caliber, as a different team now. Progressions have in, and I could see the difference in what you guys are doing on the field. So
Yeah.
eventually, you guys will be a force to be reckoned with. And I wish y'all the best of luck. All right.
All righty.
All right. Back to you in the booth. What is up, SFL Nation?
I don't know what happened there at the end of that clip. Sorry about that, but that was thank you, Ashley. That was Ashley with Doug Day, and Paul. You get a chance to talk Seattle for just a second because it was a heartbreaker. However, this team seems to be gelling a little bit better, and you're getting playmakers involved all over the field. That had to make you feel pretty good. Your thoughts on following up Doug's sentiments as well.
First things first, shouts out my guy Dougie Fresh, Doug Day, safety GM of Seattle. But as far as the game, to get as many people involved as you did, 5 different players on a team scoring, it was an awesome thing to see. Again, I didn't score, but that's fine. My guy Dean Jackson scored, finally on the board with a touchdown on the season, so I was excited to see him score. And again, just seeing everyone get involved, everyone making an impact, Cam, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I think Ryan Roosevelt really was just ultimately the difference in that game. And
absolutely.
Unfortunately, it was just a bit too much for Seattle to handle. Now Seattle next week takes on Los Angeles in another Pacific game of 2 winless teams. This past week it was LA and Portland. Now it's LA and Seattle. And you have to think that if you lose that game and fall to 0-4, things are starting to get real dicey at that point. We all know that 7-5 is not always enough to make the playoffs. So at that point, you're basically in a total must-win situation the rest of the season, which is really difficult to do in the SFL, winning 7 or 8 in a row. So big game next week between those 2 teams. That is Sunday night, and Indy gets the win, 38-35. Best game of the weekend, in my opinion. All right, let's go to now. We're going to hit some headlines from tonight's matchup, Houston and Mexico City. How about the turnover difference coming into this game, coming into the week? Mexico City tied for the least amount of turnovers with 2. Houston with 9 in their first 2 games. That's the most in the SFL. And even as we stream this live tonight, only 3 other teams right now have more turnovers than Houston. And Houston has not played yet this week, so Houston's really got to cut down on the turnovers. Houston would love a route. I had to do some digging, Paul, because we've been talking a lot about the 7 of the last 8 or 8 of the last 9 have been decided by 3 points or less or whatever. But I actually went back a little bit further. Since February 12th, that's almost 1 calendar year, Houston has lost 13 games, and 12 of them have been by 7 points or less. So Houston would love nothing more than to put us to sleep tonight and just win 35-0, because they don't want any part of being in a close game. As we mentioned earlier, meeting number 18, the home team has won the last 11 meetings, which we all know that home teams win on average about 60% of the time in the SFL. There is a little bit of an advantage, but I don't think there's ever been a series history with 11 straight home wins. Houston at home tonight.
Houston's going to be coming out, like I said, losing 12 of the last 13 by 1 score. Again, like you said, Cam, there's nothing they want more than to come out and just absolutely dominate and hold on to this all-time series matchup history between these two teams.
I would challenge anyone out there in the SFL analytics department. Maybe this is a job for Jack Stata, but how is Mexico City Houston? And we don't know this because we don't have all this data compiled, but is Mexico City Houston the rivalry with the most meetings? I'm not sure that anybody has met 18 times in league history. It's quite a number. Both teams have been around since season 6, and yeah, they've got a ton of history with each other, and it's going to be a fun game tonight.
Oh, it's going to be a great game tonight. Again, to have this history, I know we talked about rivalries last week, but again, proving again with this game, it's a South Division rivalry. 18th meeting between these two teams. They know each other. They know how to beat them. They know how to lose against them. I'm just excited to see this game and what's going to happen with both of these teams.
Houston, Mexico City coming up. Kickoff at 8:15 p.m. Eastern. It's about 45 minutes from now. For now, let's get back to the highlights. Tulsa and Florida. Florida 4-0 all-time against the Tulsa Desperados, and Travis Arthur set the tone early with an interception in the first minute. JQ on the ensuing possession hands off to Douglas Brown, and Tulsa takes a 7-0 lead. Ron Cochran would strike back. 4:38 to go in the first. Deep shot, E.J. Minson. Another one of those players outside the numbers, kind of like a Ryan Roosevelt, that has had a pretty great start to the season. And Florida ties it up. Flash forward to the second half. Florida has scored now 17 unanswered when Gabriel Manning gets a couple of spins, breaks a tackle, and is out of there. And Money Manning does it again for Tulsa. Special teams gets him going to start the second half, followed by their defense. Very next play, first down for Florida, sacked. Berto Demora, 5-yard loss in the backfield. One play later, Ron Cochran picked off by Cameron Shaw, and Tulsa has the ball once again in Florida territory, only down 3 now. Early in the third, Gabriel Manning again with a terrific catch. Only 36 up to that point, but finished with nearly 100 yards through the air. 3rd and 1. Got to convert those third downs, Paul. Douglas Brown gets it and sticks it for 8 down to the 12-yard line. Q out of the gun. Next play. Fires, Manning, touchdown. How about that? How about having a superstar get you back-to-back scores and give you the lead? Ron Cochran, Bullet Buletsky, touchdown Florida, right back in it. 24-21, back and forth we go. 27-21, Berto Demora with a massive hit on 3rd and 1, down 6 with 6:45 to go. Tulsa gets the ball back. Last 90 seconds, JQ goes Superman, hits Corey Jones once, hits Corey Jones twice. This throw, absolutely beautiful. Down to the 4-yard line, less than a minute to go. Q hustles to the line, fires, and hits Sanzo Robinson, who had a key drop earlier in the game, and Tulsa takes the lead. 5 seconds left. Florida questionably lines up a Hail Mary from the 26-yard line. Whoa, look out! And Cochran evades the sack, gets the Hail Mary off in the back of the end zone. It is knocked away and incomplete, and Tulsa gets the win 31-27. Canton at Denver. Now, we got to slow it down. It's like being on the dance floor, right? You just had a big old techno song. Now we're just going to get down to the nice slow song. Grab a partner. Let's dance. Defense and special teams in this one. Ye Verity kicks the field goal. We're tied at 3. Late in the first half, Cameron Curtis is going to be sacked. This is a great defensive line third down stop game, Paul, if you like that. 2nd and inches, tied at 3. Bailey O'Shaughnessy really was the difference. He's going to move the chains here.
What really surprised me the most from this game, again, we're going to see it here through these highlights, but Canton only had 2 drives this entire game over 4 plays. One of the drives resulting in these 3 points already.
6 first downs, 144 total yards, only had the ball for 11 minutes. Bailey O'Shaughnessy did it in the run game, did it in the pass game. Look at that nice block by Gene Bonazzi on the outside to help O'Shaughnessy get the first down. They would settle for, you guessed it, a field goal. Yay Verity from 25 yards out. Good. 6-3 just before the end of the first half. Late third quarter. This was the drive maybe of the season, Paul. Gene Struthers to Jeremy Mosley. Gene Struthers on the next play. Opposite side hits Mosley. This was an 18-play, 92-yard, 8-minute and 11-second drive. Gene Struthers, again, O'Shaughnessy, first down conversion. It would end in a field goal, but they sucked the life out of this Canton Classic team. Cameron Curtis deep down the field, picked off. I mean, they just couldn't do anything all day long.
Yeah, offense for Canton struggling to all get on the same page here. And again, as we see here with that another deep reception. Again, Gene Struthers is kind of starting to mesh with this Denver Nightwings offense. Finally starting to figure the game plan out from week to week, and showing some good signs for Denver moving forward.
Stephon Forge with a very athletic play here. Look at that. Diving into the passing lane of the receiver, and Denver wins 12-3. Jack Wall with the $2 super chat. Shout out Gene Bonazzi, graphics in resources channel. He does a good job for Jack's Data and all that they do. But let's stay here on Denver and Canton. Struthers, nothing flashy, but they really did find a way to limit him, and they found a way to limit Canton by just simply not getting off the field. And it almost felt like Jeremy Vega was fired up in the chat. I haven't seen him that vocal in a game in a very long time. It almost felt like Denver had found an identity of playing ball control, ugly football to get to victory. You don't often see a team with 33 minutes of time of possession in the SFL.
Yeah, as far as the coaching staff in Denver, I'm sure they are thrilled, especially with that 18-play drive to hold the ball for as long as they did, just slowly working your way down the field, eating up the clock. You got to love it. And as far as Bailey O'Shaughnessy, I'm sure Bailey needed an ice bath after that game. 34 rushes, 6 catches. Got to be tired after that one.
40 touches. That was even more than Robert Merrill this week, and he fueled Denver to a victory. Canton drops to 1-2 in their other loss against Arizona. They also struggled to move the football, so that offense has been up and down. They had enough to beat Motor City, but when you think about it, Paul, they scored 23 in that game, and they had a kick return for a touchdown, so they only had 16 in that one too. So Canton's offense has to get moving if they want to be considered a contender. Let's go back to Tulsa. First win in 5 tries over Florida. This may be everyone's biggest stunner of the week because the Florida Storm are now 0-3. Now, I will say that thanks to credit to Tyler Falk on the research and analytics, but Florida also started 0-3 once before and still made the playoffs, so you can't count Florida out. But to lose in the eye, where Florida had only lost 18 times ever, was a stunner, and Tulsa really impressed.
Definitely a stunner. Again, formerly playing for Florida, I know how competitive they are, and again, it shows in the history of the team. It's a team that you see playing in the playoffs at the top season after season. The only thing for them is they went into a game going against the Tulsa Desperados. Again, I know general manager Marco Swift. I know he's fired up from that win. The team that he's assembled, it's filled with dogs from the top of the roster to the bottom of the roster. Just enormous fight in every last player on that team to go in and take that win from Florida.
If I was Tulsa, I'd almost feel like every week is a must-win after they went 7-5 and miss the playoffs. Like at that point, you just feel like we got to win every game, and I felt that sense of urgency to be on the road and do what JQ did. He didn't have that great of a performance overall in that game, but that final drive, he nailed it. and he was hitting Manning and Robinson and Brown and Jones and everyone, and he I think kind of stunned Florida a little bit, the fact that Florida even had to get to that point and come back, and then Ron Cochran couldn't pull it out. It was pretty incredible, and they got a tough road ahead in that Central Division.
Absolutely, and again, speaking on Ron Cochran, 4 interceptions, that just won't win you games, Cam. So got to protect the ball a little better, but again, I expect Florida to finish the season strong. We've seen it time and time again. Another slow start to this season. Ryan Davidson, last season, had 10 interceptions, 4 touchdowns. This season only has 1 interception so far through 3 weeks. So again, veteran leadership needs to step it up a little bit in Florida, which I expect them fully to do.
Skip with $4.99 super chat saying that Curtis should roast Mike Daggs tonight at halftime as payback. So tune in to the SFL APN Music halftime report.
It's going to be a good one.
We'll have to actually execute. Since it was a super chat, Curtis, you kind of have to. I think you're kind of maybe contractually obligated. I'm not really sure. But,
Absolutely.
yeah, Mike Daggs is in trouble. Unless you can cancel that out, then he's gonna get it. He said some kind of chicken insult in the chat or whatever, but it blew by. I missed it. All right, let's get to some blowouts this week, because sometimes we have blowouts in the SFL. Paul, 45-20. Baltimore just crushes the DC Dragons. Jack Wigmore, efficient as ever, 30 for 37, 287 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Quietly, if that's even possible, Paul, he has a higher QBR than Johnny Reno. Like, how is that a thing? Because
That's
Johnny
just
Reno,
wild to me.
Yeah, he's been playing so well. Wigmore, 8 touchdowns, just 2 interceptions. Mia says hi. Hi, Mia. $4.99 super from Curtis. And he says, what did he say? Houston's gonna roast him enough. Wow. Okay, I guess we know some Headhunter fans in the chat tonight. Ivory Irvin, 8 catches, 114 yards and a touchdown. Just efficient as ever. Elijah Warfield, couple of picks, 8 tackles on the outside. 4 straight wins over the Dragons for Baltimore. For DC, Shabazz Synergy, 1 incompletion last week, 4 picks this week. Makes a big difference playing Baltimore.
Big day.
Kevin Say, 109 rushing yards, 46 receiving yards, 1 touchdown, but just couldn't get him the ball. They were down 25. They were basically down from the moment the game started. Peanuts Say, 13 total tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 2 pass defenses. So the Says stepped up. Wacky box score here, Paul. DC, 4 scores, 4 turnovers, no punts in a 25-point loss.
Yeah, that's
only had the ball.
That's such an odd statistic, and to see that, to not punt the ball once, but to lose by 25. Again, you just got to protect the ball, hang on to the ball, and you can't give it away, especially to the Vultures.
48-31, London blows out Vegas, and it wasn't even this close. Johnny Pickler, 31 of 36, 425 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. Jack Russell, 6 tackles, 3 passes defended, 3 picks. Mike Jones, 4 tackles, 2 picks, 1 pass deflection. London, 4 straight games where they've either scored or allowed 40-plus points, which is a bizarre statistic. But back to Pickler, Paul. I mean, it looked easy for him. Vegas put no pressure on him whatsoever all day.
Yeah, to have all that time, sit back there in the pocket, 31 for 36, only 5 incomplete passes. Johnny Pickler did whatever he wanted to do against Vegas. Again, I know Justin Resides back there kind of ball hawking a little, telling Johnny Pickler to be careful, but again, just driving down the field with ease. You have Robert Merrill behind you. You got great receivers on the sides of you. It just looked way too easy for London.
Eric Price leaves Denver and throws 10 picks in his first 2 games in a Vegas uniform. Scott Johnson got 4 carries for 59 combined yards. Justin Reside, the bright spot, back-to-back weeks with a pick 6 for this defense, and just an unfortunate scheduling issue for Vegas. They go to London and at San Diego next week, as if they haven't faced enough firepower already.
Definitely going to be a tough one there for them. Again, San Diego, they're turning a lot of heads here this season as well, and to play a tough team like London and go into San Diego, it's going to be a battle in San Diego next week.
85 viewers right now. Hit that like button. Help the SFL.
Like.
Yes, get the algorithm going or whatever.
Get the numbers up.
However it goes. After the Vegas game, Ashley Jackson caught up with Justin Reside from Las Vegas.
What is up, SFL Nation? Welcome to PGI. And I have my good friend here with me, Mr. Justin Reside, the man for everything stats-wise. I think he does more stats than anybody. But he's also the GM as well as free safety for the Las Vegas Fury. So, Justin, tell me, what is the general vibe of the coaches and your locker room at this moment, considering the loss to London, and what do you think needs to change?
Yeah, it's been really rough the past 24 hours since we came back from across the pond, and our coaches and players are kind of disappointed we didn't get the win against London, but now we can just change everything what we need to change to get ready for Ed Dave Axis and the San Diego Mavericks next week.
Indeed. What do you think you guys need to do? The one thing that you think you need to do?
Obviously, we have to make sure that high-flying offense gets stopped by me, Max, and everybody else on the free safeties and the free safeties and cornerback spots. So, because those guys can be high-powered, very high-powered offense, like they showed yesterday against Motor City.
Right. Well, good luck to you guys, and can't wait to see you guys on the field. Back to you in the booth, Cam and Polly.
Atlanta and Vancouver. Let's get to the highlights. You could tell Ashley was like, yeah, good luck with that. Thank you, Ashley. 6-3 second quarter. Vancouver up, but Siege Falco from Bryant Dynasty gets the score. We would see 8 more touchdowns in this game, wouldn't we, Paul?
We sure would here, Cam. And I don't know about 8, but with both these two scores here combined, you carry the 2, add the 4. We got 3 more points coming up, Cam.
Man, I'd be lying. 10-6 Atlanta up on Vancouver at this point. This game was so strange because it seemed like every time Vancouver was on this side of the field, something crazy would happen. Robert Redford drops a potential touchdown picked off by Ace Blackwell. 10-6 Atlanta. Look, they're on this side of the field again. Christian Brown steps up, sacked. 5-yard loss. Billy Ray Valentine had himself a game. More from him later in this highlight. Look, they're on this side of the field again. 3rd down and 5. Christian Brown go to the end zone, picked off by Chris Henry. 10-6 going into the half. 3rd quarter. Vancouver backed up deep. Yes, on this side of the field. Billy Ray Valentine, safety. 12-6. Atlanta, 4 minutes to go in the 3rd.
It's not what we. Oh,
go ahead,
Cam.
Paul.
Sorry. Just not something we were expecting here. Again, 2 undefeated teams with 2 high-firing offenses to come in here and have the defenses step up and get the job done. Again, only 21 total points between the 2 with the over and under of 54.5. Again, defenses stepped up here big time in this game, Cam.
Valentine with another sack, and the last 3 lowlights for Vancouver have been on that side of the field. Again on this side of the field, 3rd down and 15, and it's picked off. Looking for Brett Killian, and Jay Miraculous scoops it up. Wow, 1 minute to go. Vancouver back again to try and win it again, and they can't do it. Chris Henry gets it 12-9. Atlanta beats Vancouver with some impressive play on that left side of the field. Somebody burned the turf. San Diego at Motor City. Atlanta stays undefeated, by the way. Another unbeaten team trying to keep it that way were the Mavericks, but Christopher Dean and the Motor City V8s were all over it early. 7-0 in the first. How would Scar Patterson respond? He would. Hits B-Robo to the top of the screen. Patterson flips it out. Pseudo Nakai walks it in. Easy stroll. Tied at 7 in the first. Motor City, last play of the first quarter. Ibrahim Crieta. There's a guy over there that's wearing gold. Tom Krieg picks 6, and San Diego takes a 14-7 advantage, and we win. Whoa! That was a poor throw. Crieta trying to bounce back. Woody? You bet. Arain Darby with the catch to the 46-yard line. Crieta again against a blitz. Cool, calm, and collected. Pass caught. Phil Koss to the San Diego 40. One play later. Crieta Down to wide open. How does the Rain Darby get that wide open? Breaks the tackle. 5-4-3-2-1 touchdown. Motor City ties the game. Nice response from Creata. Nice robot from Darby. Oh, look out. Oh, he did it again. Can you believe it? Tanner Hendricks with a pick 6. And it should have been a pick 2, Paul, because I don't think there's ever been a pick. That shouldn't be worth 6 points. Too short.
Yeah, Creata just kind of lofting it out there for the second time now, and not sure if he couldn't see the yellow jersey of the defender there, but just a beautiful interception there. 2 yards right into the end zone.
They gave him 6 points anyway. 21-20 now in the third quarter. Scar Patterson launches it. Corner out of position. Touchdown. Robo through the legs. 28-20. Fourth quarter now. Feels like San Diego was pulled away. Scar Patterson, Benji Matson. Whoop! Benji! Look at the tight end. Making moves. Voices crack. Breaking hearts. Ibrahim Creata outside. Shane Kaufman. Whoa! Somebody cover that guy. Somebody catch that guy. No? Okay. Maybe they'll still win anyway. 35-27. San Diego up 8. 6:19 to go. Scar Patterson picked off. King Rashid, your interception leader through 3 weeks so far. See if Houston and Mexico City have anything to say about that, but Rashid continues to ball. 5:23 to go in the fourth quarter. Creata trying to make it happen. Just too many mistakes on this night from Motor City, Paul.
Yeah, again, interceptions showing to be a deciding factor here in this game, and all credit to Motor City, again, fighting to come back in this game. They did have a chance, but again, you just can't throw interceptions late in the game when you need 7 points to tie the game up, Cam.
Stuart Zamilia with the diving pick. Creata one last chance on 4th and goal. Almost caught off the deflection, but it was a mess in the end zone, and San Diego wins 35-27. Arizona at Queen City, back-to-back snow games for the Scorpions, but DJ Moses don't care. He's born in the cold. He's gone. 7-0 Arizona.
DJ Moses, what a run there, Cam. Again, breaks the defender spin cycle, and he's just off to the races.
Arizona would continue to pile on. However, stops like this kept the game close. Queen City's defense held him out of the end zone, limited them to a field goal. DJ Moses leaving everyone tongue-twisted. Another long run. Arizona up 17-0 at this point. At Queen City's home opener, the Corsairs have got to do something about this because Arizona is embarrassing them. Lakeman, in zone. Stephen McMichaels, nice dime with 3 minutes to go in the first half, and Queen City finally has some life. 17-7. Ashley Jackson with the ball on the next possession. And she will bomb it to TJ Punt. How did somebody get that wide open? You just can't let that happen. Queen City's defense is leaking majorly, but Deezer Powell and John Lakeman are there to strike back. This offense has been pretty great for Queen City through the first 3 weeks, but it hasn't mattered because the defense has just struggled. Celebration in Buffalo. John Lakeman, play action. Deezer Powell, he's out of here. Deezer Powell passes Boo Chisholm for 3rd all-time in touchdowns, makes it a 6-point game, and Chisholm didn't have any in the Atlanta game, so that record still stands. DJ Moses, however, this time would not be stopped in the end zone, and Arizona takes a 40-21 lead. Final minute, Lakeman, another play action, another touchdown for Deezer Powell, 40-28, but Queen City would come up short. Ashley Jackson caught up with James Klein over in his new home in Buffalo.
All right, thanks, Cam, and welcome back to PGI. I have here with me Mr. James Klein. He is co-owner and wide receiver for the Queen City Corsairs. And James, thank you so much for being on the show. This last game, you're my friend, but we had to.
Hey, you went off.
Well, far and few between, but we're working on it. We're working on it. But tell me, what do you think that Queen City could have done a little bit better to change the outcome of the game?
To be honest, Arizona, in my opinion, is one of the top teams. Basically, we had to. I mean, you guys can run the ball, you can pass the ball, which you did both against us. So we probably had to pick our poison. But our defense is young. We've got a bunch of rookies. I think we got 8 rookies on the defensive side of the ball. So it was a tall task. I think we just tried to minimize the damage, and our offense, I feel, is one of the top offenses in the league. So if we could have kept pace with you guys, we may have had a shot, but that just didn't happen.
Understood. Well, looking forward to seeing what corrections you guys make on the field next week, and good luck, James.
Thank you.
All right, back to you guys in the booth.
Thanks, Ashley. It's crazy to think, Paul, that after Arizona took a 17-0 lead, Queen City outscored the Scorpions in this game. But I love what Cliff Allen said in the chat. Arizona after back-to-back wins in blizzard-like conditions this week. So Arizona, we mentioned it earlier, they're your number 2A. Minnesota right behind them. San Diego is still unbeaten. And then we got one more. Why does it escape me? They're going to Atlanta, of course, is 3-0 as well. So you have 5 teams that are 3-0, but 3 of those teams, Paul, didn't even win a playoff game last season. Of course, Minnesota made the playoffs as an expansion team, but they are something else now. 3 weeks into season 20, does it surprise you that of the unbeatens left, it's teams I don't think that most people would have expected at this point?
Yes and no, because I am a little shocked. I am somewhat shocked to see 2 or 3 of these teams up here at this point in the season. I'm not surprised to see San Diego. It's a whole new ownership team, so sure, you don't necessarily know what to expect, but they've proven time and time again that they know what to do in the SFL. They know how to come in and win games. So San Diego getting it done, 3-0. Minnesota, like we talked about earlier, Cam, top tier team. Baltimore is Baltimore, and then Atlanta squeaking out another win, 3-0, and then you got Arizona as well as the 5th team. And as far as 3 of these teams not making playoffs, there's a lot of time left, Cam. There's a lot of weeks left, a lot of games left. Long season to even make it to the playoffs and have that chance to win the championship.
Honestly, I'm surprised that Baltimore's here because
I am a little shocked on that too.
Alamo City, who made the playoffs, DC, who made the playoffs, Mexico City, who made the playoffs. First 3 weeks, that's when you want to get Baltimore because they don't have, they haven't gotten a bunch of animations on guys. They have not built up their team. They have not perfected their system. Yet, none of these games have been close. They are just killing people, and it's amazing to me that they're about to hit a part of their schedule that features teams that weren't that good last season. Carolina and Charleston, and then they've got they have Denver on the schedule, they have Vegas on the schedule. I mean, these teams are below 500 now, and they also have Houston left, who's 0-2 at the moment, right? So Baltimore's about to go through a portion of their schedule where, when you look at it, it's kind of like they already have played the best of the best on their schedule outside of Arizona and San Diego, who they play towards the end of the season.
Sure, and again, Baltimore just proving why they're Baltimore. Again, this whole league is just looking up at Baltimore right now. What do they do? What can we do to beat them? How do we beat them? It's just a tough thing to do. And Cam, as we're scrolling through the chat there, we got to scroll back up to Type Attack through a super chat in there.
Yeah, I was getting to that. A $5
It's the Cam and Paul Monday Night Spectacular with the trademark. Even with the trademark in there.
Yeah, that's those things are expensive. Thank you, Ty, for the $5.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Great stuff. I was also looking. I was seeing I saw something in the chat. But it seems to have disappeared on me. T-Pat says, we've lost like 4 games in 4 seasons, and you're surprised we haven't lost. Slow your ego. What I mean by that is everyone is supposed to be giving you their best shot, and it's not even close. And you would think that as 3-time champions that it would have been closer, and it has not been close. So it's more of a shock that it just hasn't got. Of course, Alamo City was closed for a time. Mexico City was closed for a time. But you look at the final score, and, I mean, if you're winning by 15 points every week in the SFL, you're doing something right, not playing any of these close games. So, plus it gives T-Pat a chance to throw out all his beautiful statistics like everybody doesn't know how great he is. Give me a break. 6-time champ. My gosh. Have a little, I don't know. He's on a high. He just did a great thing for his family this week, and he's riding the high and riding into the bye week, 3-0 as well. Let's get back to the highlights, shall we? Before I continue rambling, get myself in trouble. Portland and Los Angeles tied early in the first quarter, but Cyrus Jive throws a touchdown to Benjamin Warner on the outside. That was the difference in this game. Winning inside the 20s was Portland, not for Los Angeles. That pass down inside the red zone, picked off by Leo Morris, and he's out of here. 14-0. T-Pat, great show in the chat. Great team. 14-0. Portland on top of Los Angeles, and you just can't do that if you want to win football games. Portland off to the early start. Great play. Sully, go ahead.
Come out and take a 14-point lead. Again, Portland's 0-2, facing another 0-2 team. We see here Los Angeles fighting to stay back in it with a deep play there, try to get some points on the board, but just great job by Portland to start this game here in the first quarter with a 14-point lead.
In between the 20s, Sully's been awesome. That pass gets down to the 19-yard line. First play inside the red zone. Richardson, Jack, 4-yard loss. It's how it's been going for LA. Sully Richardson, one of the league's top passers this season, and here's why. Chris Lee, don't get tackled inside the 20. Don't do it. Okay, they're good. And Los Angeles is coming on back. End of the third quarter, Portland only up 17-13, and the Lycans are in business with another bomb from Sully Richardson. Pun intended there. That end zone is a mess. Cyrus Jive, well composed. One of the best throws of the entire weekend anywhere. Nelson Lozano Jr. with the catch. Jive, pump fake. I don't know how he got that off. Nelson Lozano dragged down seemingly by his face mask. No call. Gets it to the 2. And then Jive gives it off to Ezekiel Love to finish it off. Portland wins 24-13. Charleston and Alamo City on Friday night. 3-0 in the first. Ace Finnick over to Greg Soto. That pass had some mustard on it. The thing was rocketing 50 miles an hour down there. Great throw there from Finnick. Kentes Johnson really struggled last week in Impact Monday, and not a great start there. That pass intercepted off the tip ball by Alamo City. They're back in business in the first quarter. That's Ralgar Law out of retirement with the interception.
What a way to come back to the league here, week 3, getting some picks here, reminding everyone who he is.
Opportunistic offense, or defense rather, from Alamo City. Opportunistic offense too. Ace Finnick down the field, hitting weapons. Just another day at the office. Ziggy Roenick with the catch. Finnick here on 3rd down and 7, second quarter now. Pass caught. Roenick again. First and goal with the 7. I mean, that's what this game felt like. It really did kind of feel like a day at the office for Alamo City. Brad Jones with the touchdown. 14-3.
Just getting the job done, like you said. Another day at the office for Alamo City. I know that's the 3rd time we said it here, but that's literally what it all it was, Cam.
Another day at the office for Alamo City. Ace Finnick down the field. Caught. That's a touchdown. 21-3. Or 21-6. At this point, it really did feel like the Charleston has no shot in this game. But Kentes Johnson and Jay Hayden, they made it happen. Put together their best drive of the day. Got some things going. Late third quarter, Johnson steps up in the pocket. What a dime. Davius Reed with the catch. 3rd and 1. Fourth quarter now. Johnson. Jay Hayden inside the 10, down to the 4-yard line. And Charleston making things happen. Charleston had a 14-play drive earlier in the game. They only got 3 points out of it. This time they'd get 6. Everybody left the back of the end zone open, and Jay Hayden scores. So 21-13, 9 minutes to go. Now, all of a sudden, it's a football game. Charleston's defense, just like they did against Carolina last week, keeping them in it for much of the night. 3rd and 10, though. Big play. 5 minutes to go. Play fake. Yogi Barr sacked him out of field goal range. Charleston would have to punt. We never saw from them again. They didn't get any closer. Alamo City wins 21-13. Last highlight, Louisiana and Jacksonville. Big game on the road. 6.5-point dogs. The Revs, Randy Squarebush scores. Louisiana strikes first. 7-0 in quarter number 1. Cameras all over Squarebush down there. Watch out, guys. Late first quarter, Tommy Utah steps up in the pocket. Forrest Dalton sacks him, but Forrest Dalton is hurt on the play. He led the league in tackles for loss coming into the week. He would return later in the game. Down 10-0. O.J. Bruin. This dude just built differently. What a run. Gets him down to the 21-yard line. He has been one of the surprise players in the first few weeks.
As far as O.J. Bruin goes, I'm going to put this out there, Cam. O.J. Bruin is one of the most exciting players to watch in the SFL.
Bruin can do it with his arm, too. Out to Kingston Ellington. Gets the ball down to the 4-yard line. Bruin at that point 9 of 10, plus the scramble, plus the touchdown. Joseph Budette, all he scores is touchdowns. This guy's in the end zone every single week. It's crazy. 13-7, third quarter. Randy Squarebush, good out of the way. Squarebush, one man to beat. He slowed him down to the Jacksonville 33, but a vicious shoulder charge there from Squarebush. He would continue to roll. Tommy Utah. Liam Hammer. Another vicious stiff arm there from the Revs offense. Somebody got to talking to them in the locker room at the half as they came out supercharged. What a way to start the third quarter. John Michael Sutton, first down to the 11-yard line, and then they would cap the drive off with Squarebush. That's how you start a second half, Paul, up 27.
Up 20-7 again. Couple scoring possession difference there, and we see Jacksonville answer there. Another nice throw by O.J. Bruin, but great way to start this game off from Louisiana.
Joseph Budette's second touchdown of the day. Bruin, though, this time picked off. At this point, a 6-point game. Dante Grimm, the Grim Reaper, gets a pick 6 on Bruin, and Bruin can only hold his head in shame in the end zone. Louisiana back up by 13. Next possession, Bruin. This is a young man's throw. Don't need it all back in one play. Mike Ryan with the interception. Fourth quarter, Revolution just dominating now. John Michael Sutton, touchdown, 34-14. Louisiana would end up winning 34-31. Jacksonville made it close at the end, but that was really the story of the game. Louisiana dominating early. All right, let's put a wrap on that highlight package, Paul. Portland, Alamo City, and Louisiana get wins there.
Yeah, again, you got to go in each week, whether you're playing at home or playing away. You just got to go in and handle business. Another day at the office for all these teams getting wins. Again, just going in, handling business. That's all they do. That's all they have to do. And again, a lot of season left, so I know a lot of teams are sitting up there on the standings right now. We may or may not see those same teams up there heading into the playoffs, and same thing at the bottom. You might not see some of those teams down there at the bottom by playoff time.
Houston and Mexico City kickoff time about 11 minutes away. Mike O'Neill, take it away, fella. What you got?
Thank you, Cam and Paul in the booth. Appreciate you guys. Pleasure to be working this with you. Mike O'Neill here, guys. Welcome to ATS Matchups to Watch. Tonight, we've got Monday Night Football as the Carolina Skyhawks travel in to Charleston to take on the Predators. And look, last week, we watched Carolina give up a lead late to Mexico City. And I think this is a revenge match for them. They're traveling into Charleston, division rivals, to take on the Predators, who came out and shocked everybody in week 1. And I think Carolina wants to come out here and say that this is a statement win for their team this week, should they get the win. We're going to go over a couple matchups to watch here. A couple interesting things here. Number one, the obvious, right? You've got to feed Ike McBride the ball. Ike McBride and Hattori Hanzo in that 1-2 punch, you've got to give them the ball. I guarantee you they get 25 to 30 carries shared tonight, that Carolina has a really good chance of taking this one home. And that's not to say anything against Charleston. The only reason I'm saying that is because Charleston, this is a young team. Carolina's game plan is Thank you, Cam and Paul in the booth. Appreciate you guys, as always. We got a huge division matchup tonight. Mexico City traveling into Houston to take on the Headhunters for a great Monday Night Football matchup. And the records don't say it all in this. Mexico City is 1-1 after a loss to Baltimore last week, and Houston's coming off of a big loss against DC. Both games that Houston has played has been close games, and they're sitting at 0-2 right now, but they are a good team. Don't mistake them. Mexico City, let's talk about what Mexico City needs to do. They did everything right last week. Phoenix Jones was over 100 yards. Jordan Sipe played a great game, only threw one pick. They did everything right. They won time of possession, but still lost, and that's what happens when you face Baltimore majority of the time, unfortunately. But they cannot go into this game tonight and think of Houston as a weak team. They have to go into this treating Houston with the kind of respect that they deserve ultimately. Mexico City, they've just got to go in and play their brand of football. They've got to come into this game tonight, and they've got to split carries between Phoenix Jones and Ray Bentley. And if they get over 150 yards combined, I guarantee Mexico City walks off of this. And Jordan Sipe's got to play efficient like he has. 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions through the first 2 games, and he's got to continue to play efficient. So for Mexico City, it's pretty plain and simple. It's cut and dry. Play your brand of football and make Houston beat you. That's it. It's really simple. Now, a little bit more intricate for Houston. Last week, Dave Burr threw 5 interceptions against DC, and yes, we could talk about the Savage synergy, performance, how we only had 1 incompletion the entire game, and it's going to be tough to beat any team whose quarterback's playing that good. But Houston is a good team. Last week, they had 9 tackles for loss from their front 7 against a really good DC offense. So if they can replicate that again tonight and get Jordan Sipe shaken up, remind Jordan Sipe that he is a rookie, then we could see Houston walk off with a victory here. Last week, again, Houston against DC, both Mike St. Green and DR Sim had over 100 yards receiving. If they can replicate that performance and do what they did last week against DC, this is going to be a very, very close game tonight. So your keys to victory for Mexico City, just play your style of football. Get the ball to Phoenix Jones and Ray Bentley, and Jordan Sipe throw really efficiently. If he lands over 80%, doesn't throw any more than an interception, I think that this is a shoe-in for Mexico City. Now, if Houston, they go into this and they can replicate that performance that they had last week, 9 tackles for loss from their front 7, and if they can force Jordan Sipe into 2 or 3 interceptions, Houston's walking off with this one. Thank you, guys. Back to you in the booth, Cam and Paul.
Thank you, Mike. I don't care if there's glitches. I don't care what week it is. I think Paul and I just both want Mike O'Neill's hair, right?
Hair?
Yeah,
I want some hair.
That thing looks wavy, wavy as all get out, man.
I'll tell you what, Cam. That guy Mike, he's talented. He's a superstar SFL player, and he's a talented magician as well. Just changing clothes, snap of a finger.
Oh yeah, no, it's crazy. Changing lighting, all sorts of stuff. Yeah, thank you, Mike.
He does it all.
They told me this job was going to be easy when I signed up for it. I swear. Don't have any fantasy football final totals just yet out of the crew, but I do have that Dave Burr is the most owned quarterback in fantasy this week. 15.38% of teams have Dave Burr as their fantasy quarterback this week. So a big game to potentially flip the scales there in fantasy. Jet Zero was the most owned running back this week. He struggled. Jay Taylor was the highest wide receiver taken. He struggled a little bit. Will Todd struggled a little bit in Arizona. LA's defense, not half bad, owned by 25% of the league. The week 2 winners last week. The winner was Jacob Clear, 178. Fox Highwind, 174. And Levant Mercer, 166.6. Fox won with Burr last week, or got second place with Burr last week with the 0.1. It's interesting that Levant finished third, and the points, just 12 points out of his quarterback. That was Ibrahim Krieta. He still was able to finish as bronze. So that's your fantasy football update. If you want to play fantasy football, it is in our Discord server. And contact Stephen Hacker, Jack Wall, and company for more details. Final thoughts on Houston, Mexico City, Paul, before we head down to Jules Simeon Stadium and kick this thing off.
Final thoughts, Cam. Mexico City going in playing their 200th game in their franchise history, looking to tie the head-to-head matchup up with Houston. I want to, and I expect to see some great football to play tonight on SFL Impact Monday, the Cam and Paul Monday Night Spectacular.
Both of them now. Now we're really
We're changing the game, Cam. We're changing the game.
I love it. Impact. So what? It's the Cam and Paul Monday Night Spectacular on Impact Monday, presented by AP Music. There we go.
Absolutely.
that works. Mike loves it. He's made his impact. Yeah, no doubt. Mexico City and Houston comes your way next. This has been a presentation of the Simulation Football League presented by AP Music. This week in the SFL, Paul Sarp and yours truly back on the call in moments. We'll be right back.
We see this look from time to time from the Knights. Third down, St. Clair deep drop back. He's going deep down the field. The pass is caught. Wide open 40, 30. It's Buck Studwell. 15, 10, 5 touchdown. New York. They're going to hand it off to H. Shaw. He got the first down. A championship is coming to New York.
23 seconds, 22 seconds. What are they going to do here? 4 yards from the end zone. Dunhill going to throw again. Dunhill out to Hollywood. BDG Hollywood touchdown! Oh my, the Atlanta Swarm. How about it? Your champions, Georgia. 27-10 over Sioux Falls. Your Atlanta Swarm are title winners.
To the right, that's Carr. 2 down from the end. Handoff, Sandlin. Boy, he almost got hit the backfield, and Sandlin breaks it through for a touchdown for Seattle. What a run from Sandlin. He was dead to rights in the backfield and made something out of nothing.
Going to go 5 wide for Wigmore. Wigmore steps up, hit as he threw. Pass is intercepted at the 50 with room to return. It's Albert Begin again. 35-30. Albert Begin. 20, 10. Touchdown, Lone Star. Ivory Irvin not fast enough this time. And the Glory right back in it.
Second and 10 from the 38. Marconi back to pass against another blitz. Marconi's going to avoid a sack. Throw a ball deep down the field. The pass is caught. What a throw! What a throw! Touchdown! Minneapolis to Alamo. Oh my goodness! A slow motion replay here. You gotta be kidding me.
SFL is gonna bring out the
trophy, and Minneapolis is going to get to celebrate for the fans that came down.
Receivers, free to the right side. Tallahassee needs a stop. They haven't gotten one here in the third. And Cochran's go to the end zone. It's caught for a touchdown. And Alaska has 9 points here in the third quarter. That's all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations to the Alaska Storm. They are your Season 11 SFL champions.
How about EJ DeQ, Patrick Kelly, and Sean Crooked on that line? Great protection for Jackson. Now Moses is running over people, as are the rest of the Scorpions, and they fight him for a touchdown.
This Matt Wilson's pass is caught for a touchdown. What a throw to Dijon Swan. The Mexico City Aztecs, headlined by team owner Ramos Lin, gets their first SFL championship, a 38-24 victory over Chicago.
Night. Wigmore now 10 of 13, 76 yards, 14th pass of the day. Wigmore fires it outside, it's intercepted! John Barnhart, touchdown! Sioux Falls, he does it again for the Sparrows in the postseason!
Showing a blitz on the outside, it's Queen City. Everyone stays home. Darnell Black runs past everybody, picks up a block. Darnell Black in the open field. 40, 35, 30. Being chased by Shine. He won't catch him. And the Hyenas have cut it to 7.
Mama, there goes that man.
Stats all-star crew for a terrific start so far. Third down and 9 to start the second quarter. Ivory Irvin's over the top, and it's a touchdown for Baltimore.
Jark Tarkington has a chance to win it.
Oh my goodness. For all of that, and Tarkington gives Baltimore their third straight title. Oh my goodness.
Well, McChesney gonna get a carry. Oh, there goes McChesney. One man to beat, he breaks it. Jaron McChesney down the sideline. Francis trying to catch him. Not today, young fella. Touchdown, Denver. They're right back in it. Down to 15 seconds left. Zuli back to pass. He's going to Corky. It is caught. And he touchdown, DC. Greg Corky is
They got to pull out something miraculous here.
DC can't let him get behind him. They got to keep everything in front of him here. This is the ball game. Daniel Garcia back to pass. He's going to throw it deep to the middle. The pass is caught, and the tackle is made. And the DC Dragons have won the championship by a miracle on Zach Zuli's throw to Greg Corky. And I let the fellas give me a breath.
In H-Town tonight, where a new, old rivalry writes a new chapter. The Mexico City Aztecs and the Houston Headhunters in Chapter 18 here on Impact Monday on the SFL YouTube channel. Hello again. Welcome to Impact Monday alongside Paul Sarp. I'm Cameron Irvine, Rochelle Colston, Declan O'Rourke on stats. And tonight we got a great one as the Headhunters try and get off the schneid and get their first win of the season against the Mexico City Aztecs, who are just happy they're not playing Baltimore again this week. Paul, good evening. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, Cam. Excited to be here with you tonight. We got some great football to be seen here by both of these teams. Again, 18th time these teams have met up against one another, so I'm super excited to see how this 18th edition of this rivalry will turn out here tonight.
Mexico City, Phoenix Jones, Ray Bentley. We all know this offense. Jordan Sipe hoping to prove something in a big spot, and a lot of the league has their eyes on Dave Burr this evening. Burr in fantasy football and trying to get a season rolling. Just been a bit of a struggle early. Tom Tanner, he's not struggling. Great start to his season. And we head down to the field for the coin toss. Mexico City wants heads. It's heads, they'll defer. Quick, Paul, 10 seconds. Your key to the game tonight.
Key to the game tonight, you have to get GP Wells going. Again, GP Wells, one of the best running backs in this league. And to be able to come out and go up against one of your rivals in Mexico City, you just got to get the run game established early, and that run game is going to open up the rest of the field for you.
Mike Daggs, 1283 Super Chat. Rest in peace, Matt Wilson. Kick it, Mexico City. We will all think about you every single game. Love you more than words can say. Hashtag 12 forever. Hashtag Aztec Empire. Let's go Aztecs. Couldn't have said it better myself, Mike. And here we go. Houston is going to start from their own 23-yard line. We'll get things rolling here.
Again, to start this game off, like I said, you got to get the run established. You got to drive the ball down the field, and you got to stop the other team from putting up more points than you can put up. It's the name of the game, Cam.
First down for Dave Burr. Fires it outside. That is hauled in. Pickup of 9 yards, rather inside to the 32-yard line. Pass is caught by J.J. McCutcheon, who had a key catch in last week's game as well. Second down, 1 yard to go. Handoff, G.P. Wells. He's got a first down past the 35-yard line to the 38. Good start for the Headhunter offense tonight.
Yeah, great start there. Great run. Get enough for the first down from G.P. Wells. Again, last week, Cam, 21 carries, 94 yards. No touchdowns on the ground, but again, added 7 receptions, 52 yards, and was able to get a receiving touchdown last week for G.P. Wells.
Dave Burr flips it outside. That's GP. Picks up nothing on the play. Good pursuit for Mexico City's defense. Let's meet the offense of the Headhunters. Quarterback is Dave Burr in his 4th season, all with Houston. Running back is GP Wells. The fullback, Jalen Wells, 21 and 28 respectively. Mike St. Green, DR Sim, Greg Corky, your receivers on the outside. Tight ends are Jim Copeland Jr. and Dan Curtis. Copeland Jr. coming over from Tulsa. On the line, Barry Simeon at left tackle, Taylor Menner at left guard. Look out for them. Second down and 10. Burr will hand it off to Wells for the first time tonight. And that doesn't get anything as well to bring up a third down. Wrap up there made by Skylar Kingsley on the line.
I'll tell you what, Cam, out of anyone on this Houston Headhunters roster, I'm sure heading into this season, G.P. Wells had to have been the most excited to team up with your brother, Jalen Wells, coming over from Seattle. I'm sure the Wells brothers are looking to get the job done.
Third down and 10 at the 38. Burr fires it down the middle of the field and knocked away. 44 on 44 crime there. Looking for Copeland Jr., but Jeffrey Daggs, the Hall of Famer, with the swat down, and Houston's going to have an early punt from Ron Foster.
Unfortunate to have to punt it here for Houston, but I'll tell you what, Jeffrey Daggs, that's the name we're both going to have to keep an eye out for here tonight, because Jeffrey Daggs, he is no stranger to making big plays for Mexico City.
Houston won the last meeting 35-20. Dave Burr threw 3 picks in that game, but also 3 touchdowns. Keeps a clean sheet through that first possession. Jeffrey Daggs back to return the kick. Actually fair caught at the 32-yard line. Now we meet the Mexico City Aztec offense, led by Jordan Sipe in his 2nd season, formerly out of Jacksonville. Running backs in the backfield, Phoenix Jones and Ray Bentley. Those two have a combined 19 seasons, all in an Aztec uniform. Fullback is Buford Van Dam, the rookie 2nd-round pick. Wide receivers, Jason Bartley, Nick Lockett, Terrell Cooper, and the tight end is Bill Henry. First and 10 at the Aztec 33. 8:48 to go in the first quarter. Sipe will start with a pass, and that pass is hauled in by Henry for a 9.5-yard pickup to bring up second down.
Jordan Sipe's going to have to just stay calm, cool, collected tonight. Again, you're going up against a Houston Headhunters team that just lost 2 games by 3 points. The games were right in the grasp of their reach. So Jordan Sipe, he's going to have to just, like I said, just play calm tonight and let his game do the talking.
4 receivers, 3 to the top of the screen in a bunch. Sipe will throw again. Sipe outside, just over the outstretched arms of the defender, and that's Bill Henry again with the catch down to the Houston 41-yard line. The player pursuing on that one was J.W. Hartshorn, but unable to get a hand on it.
And again, just like you, Cam, I thought that was an interception. He almost returned that back to the house.
Would have added to the long list of pick sixes in the SFL so far this week, and would have been Hartshorn's first, I believe, of his career. But instead, it's a first down and 10 at the 41-yard line for Mexico City, now moving the football mostly through the air thus far. First carry goes to Jones, and Jones picks up 6 to the 35-yard line of Houston. Let's meet that Houston Headhunter defense. On the defensive line, Alex Perez and Tom Tanner are your ends. Butch Menor and KT Slayer are your tackles. That line has a combined 7 all-star appearances. Linebackers Jason Peace, Garrett Evans, and Zed Markoff. Evans coming over from San Diego. Hartshorn, the first-round pick. Kai Cash, Corey Menor are your corners. Safeties, Dedrick Law and Josh Rowe. Second down and 4 at the 35 after the 6-yard run from Jones. Sipes pass deep down the field is intercepted. Josh Rowe with the INT, and the first mistake of the game belongs to Mexico City. We talked about it in pregame, Paul. Just 2 turnovers in the first 2 games for the Aztecs. There's number 3.
And number 3, and that's a tough one. But what a way for Josh Rowe to bounce back after last week. Josh Rowe, in his 4th season, week 2 last week, didn't post a stat. So here, coming out on this first drive, already putting a interception on the stat line, coming out strong.
DC stayed away from him. Mexico City does not pays the price. GP Wells picks up 1 on a flip out from Burr. Let's meet the Mexico City Aztec defense. On the line, Ziggy Blaylock, Skylar Kingsley are your ends. Bernard Patterson, Dan Tritz, your tackles. Linebacker Dexter Jackson in his 7th season with the Aztecs. John Fowler and Matthew Alvarado, formerly of Queen City. Corners, Jonte Jordan, the 2nd-round pick. Gerard Brody, Liam Ryan, and Jermaine Menefield. Safeties, 4-time All-Star Hall of Famer Jeffrey Daggs and Ben Charbs. In the back, 2nd and 9 for Dave Burr. Fires outside. It is ruled incomplete. Pass intended for Sim. That was close. Will set up a 3rd down.
We've seen Sim catch those for a number of seasons now, Cam. Again, one of the best receivers, if not the best, all time. Just couldn't get the toes in there, stay in bounds and hold the ball. So we're going to see 3rd down and 9.
3rd 9 for Burr, 5 wide. Mexico City out of the dime. Burr, deep shot, Sim. Pass knocked away and incomplete. Gerard Brody on the coverage. Both defenses have come to play tonight. Houston to punt for the 2nd straight possession.
And we've seen some week 3 offenses come to play. We've seen some week 3 defenses come to play. So I'm excited to see which side of the ball is going to be the more dominant side here. But like you said, Cam, both defenses starting the game strong, forcing punts.
Aerial coverage of today's game provided by Daggs Drone Works, aerial photography and videography services for real estate, events, marketing, and more. Learn more at DaggsDroneWorks.com. Short punt. Daggs is going to start from the Houston 46-yard line, so the Aztecs right back to work in Houston territory. Jack status, 6.5-point dogs, they say, are the Headhunters tonight. Over under 61.5. We have seen home dogs get a win this week. We have seen road dogs get wins as well. So it's been a tough week to predict. So far scoreless in what is typically a rivalry full of shootouts. 6:40 to go in the first quarter. Sight back to pass. Fires it outside. Again, Houston went for the pick, couldn't get there. That's Jason Bartley with his first catch of the night. Picks up 9.
One of the things that interests me the most about this Mexico City offense is the running back committee, Cam. You got 2 halfbacks and a fullback blocking for them. So always excited to see this committee get to work.
6 of the last 7 times this rivalry has been played, the winner has scored over 30 points. Phoenix Jones gets no carry or no gain on that play, and that'll bring up a 3rd down and 1. The lowest scoring total in this rivalry. We have seen some low-scoring games. In fact, it was the last time these two teams played in Week 3. Mexico City beat Houston 13-6 back on January 19th, 2019. 3rd and 1. Houston 38, handoff to Jones, side steps, gets a first down.
Got it.
Up to the 33-yard line. Rowe with the tackle. Go ahead, Paul.
I'm just wondering what game we're going to see. Again, it's been a while, been a couple years since we've seen a low-scoring game between these two teams. Again, 18 times to only have one game where you have as little points as that. Any other game that these two teams have met, it hasn't even been close to that amount of points.
First and 10 of the 33, 5:13 to go in the first quarter. Out of the eye, Jordan Sipe, as Mexico City settles in now with their rushing attack. And a bruising rushing attack at that as Phoenix Jones picks up 8 to the Houston 25-yard line.
If Phoenix Jones is not afraid to work the trenches and get down and dirty in the middle of the field, throwing defenders off of them, Cam.
Reminded me of Eminem just then, the way you said I'm not afraid. 2nd and 2 at the Houston 25-yard line. You'd appreciate that, Paul. Split backs in the backfield. Sipe hands it off to Bentley. He is rolled around. That almost looked like a get up, Bray. It almost looked like a Mahomes-esque twist there as he gets the ball into the red zone for the first time tonight to the Headhunter 20.
I'll tell you what, Cam, this Houston Headhunters defense can't lose yourself in the red zone against this Mexico City offense.
See what you did there.
I had to. You set me up for it.
First and 10 of the Headhunter 20. 3 wide for Sipe. Flips it outside to Bentley, and Bentley only picks up 1. Tackle on the outside made by Hartshorn and company. 4 minutes to go in the first.
And slow start here to start off Impact Monday, Cam. And again, we're used to seeing these teams light each other up on offense. So Mexico City trying to get some points on the board to take their early lead.
7th play of the drive, and the middle up the gut. Wide open for Phoenix Jones. Gets an easy first down to the Houston 10.
Phoenix Jones making an impact early. Last time that these two teams met, season 19, week 2. Again, Phoenix Jones, not too strong of a game. 16 carries, only 39 yards. Added a few receptions in the air, but wasn't able to find the end zone last season.
Van Dam was down the field blocking, but didn't have anybody to block for about 8 yards of that run. 3:15 to go in the first. Sipe now out of the empty here on 1st and goal. Sipe to throw, fires outside. That is hauled in by Bartley, a 5-yard pickup. On the play, the tackle at the end of the play for Houston, if I could find my mouse, made by Zed Markov. Second to go with the 5. Sipe, end zone, almost intercepted, and a 2-for-1 there for Dedrick Law. Knocked the pass down and then also tackled Henry. First time he was targeted without a completion. 3rd and goal coming up.
And putting the pressure on Henry there, and that was a little risky of a throw there by Sipe. So I am sure he's super thankful that was not intercepted. And again, 3rd and goal here, trying to get into the end zone.
Shotgun, split backs. Nickel look, Sipe out of the gun. To throw, steps right side, knocked away. Man, J.W. Hartshorn is everywhere in this first quarter, and that will result in a field goal for Mexico City.
Yeah, J.W. just coming out and clamping these receivers up and putting hits everywhere on players. That's just the defense you love to see, sitting back in the zone, and then as soon as the quarterback throws it, just rushing to the ball, not letting the receiver get his hands on the ball.
Nick Lockett was the intended target. Lockett has been a touchdown magnet so far this season for Jordan Sipe, but no catches here in the opening quarter. And Chaz Blackwater will have to come out and attempt the field goal. 2nd round pick, rookie, pick number 32. And his field goal slow going, but is up and good. And it's 3-0 Aztecs on top of the Headhunters early.
And that's going to be 5 for 5 on the season for Chaz Blackwater. Again, he is one of many field goal kickers tied for first place this season with 100% on all field goal attempts.
They just don't miss all that often. If you're new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website at simulationfl.net. The SFL, we put the fan in fantasy. Greg Corky returns up to the 27-yard line. And Houston, after back-to-back punts, try to get things moving once again.
Hey, if history repeats itself, Houston's lost the last 2 by 3. Cam, we might as well pack it all up, but I'm sure Houston's not going to let that happen. But
that's a good point. That's a good point. We've been in Houston all week long. It's been a rough one as Jalen Wells flips it outside for a pickup of 7. Not the best weather all week in Houston. It's a bit chilly tonight. At least the rain stayed away. 42 degrees tonight. Feels like 38.
Again, a little cold here in Houston, Cam. Again, we're used to this warm Houston weather, but great time to hear this week with you, Cam. Always a pleasure.
2nd and 3 at the 34-yard line. 3 backs in the backfield for Burr. Burr flips it outside just in time. GP Wells is shut down. Mexico City is all over the sidelines. Gerard Brody may be a busy man tonight.
And again, I said it earlier tonight, Cam, GP Wells, you have to stop him if you're Mexico City. If you're Houston, you're riding him every single game. One of the best running backs in the league.
3rd down and 1 at the 36. 1:45 to go in the first. Handoff to Wells. 1st down. Great blocking down the field. Jalen Wells shoveling snow for his brother. My goodness.
That's that family connection, Cam. Again, when you have your brother blocking for you, you couldn't run the ball with any more confidence. What a block.
Gerard Brody. Vomit on his sweater already. 1st and 10 at the 43-yard line. I just imagine after that hit. 1:18 to go in the first.
I wonder what it could have been. What he ate pregame.
Hand off to GP. Nothing. And a good stop there by, it's not Kingsley, but Ziggy Blaylock on the line. Axel speculating it's mom's spaghetti on the jersey there, Paul. 2nd and 10 at the 44. You weren't going to say it. It was too easy. You were letting the fans at home participate. Jalen Wells, no gain. 3rd and 10. This is rough going for Houston. Everything seems to be out in the flats, and Mexico City is not letting them have it at all.
I would not be surprised if we see Houston possibly take a deep shot here, Cam.
3rd and 10, 4 wide. Mike St. Green at the bottom of the screen. The receivers so far in this game do not have a catch. 3rd down and 10. Burr fires down the field, caught. That is the first. Actually, that's the 2nd catch by a receiver, and both of them have been to J.J. McCutcheon. So DR Sim, Mike St. Green, Greg Corkley, Jim Copeland Jr., Dan Curtis, all with 0 receptions in the first quarter. That's the end of the first quarter. Mexico City 3, Houston nothing. Looks like we're in for another defensive showdown here on Impact Monday. We'll be right back. 4th and 1. At the moment, Houston lining up to go for it as we start the second quarter. Paul Sarp, Cameron Irvine, Rochelle Colston, and Declan O'Rourke with you. They go for it on 4th down, and GP Wells gets the first down, his 8th touch of the game so far. That is the most important gut check time for Houston, and they deliver.
I love that call, Cam, to try and go for it on 4th down, to get the first down. What better running back could you ask for in the league on 4th and 1 than GP Wells?
4 receivers, 3 to the left. Handoff. Wells trying to wait for a block to develop, and it just couldn't happen. A 3-yard loss. play blown up in the backfield by Matthew Alvarado, who already has 4 solo tackles in the first half.
Matthew Alvarado making a huge impact here to start the game. 4 tackles in the first quarter, essentially.
On pace for 16. Burr, 2nd down and 13. Pass is caught by G.P. Wells. It's 3rd and 11. Houston just unable to get their star receivers involved up to this point. They face another 3rd and long.
You gotta get DR Sim involved. In the SFL history, he is #1 in receptions, #1 in yards, #1 in touchdowns, and he doesn't have a reception here in the game.
3rd down and 11. Burr out of the shotgun. Burr looking deep down the field. Caught! There he is! No, it's Greg Corky, actually. New Mexico City 21-yard line. 1st down, Headhunters, and now Houston's offense starting to click.
Houston showing some life. Dave Burr with a dart throw across the middle, and just receivers there wide open. Move the chains. A little bit outside the red zone, but if I'm Houston, I want 7 points on the board.
The 2 safeties, Dags and Charbs on the tackle. 9th play of the drive here for Houston. 5 runs and 2 passes thus far. 3rd from Burr. Over the middle, that pass knocked away. And that's the reverse of Alvarado. Dexter Jackson there with the pass deflection.
And we've seen a couple questionable throws here tonight. A couple of them may or could have resulted in interceptions, but only have seen one so far.
2nd and 10, Burr's 8 of 12 for 53 yards to start, 4.4 yards per attempt. Burr, play fake for the first time tonight. Fires outside, caught by DR Sim. 8-yard pickup. Chain gang man makes the tackle. 3rd and 2 coming up.
Again, we've seen it this drive. 3rd and short. Who better to get involved than one of the highest rated running backs in the league, one of the most dynamic running backs in the league.
Houston 2 for 5 on 3rd down thus far in a pretty even statistical game. Burr outside, caught by Sim, down to the 4, 8-yard pickup. Sim now 2 catches on 5 targets, but Houston continues to move and tick some time off this clock.
Again, Sim is getting some targets, just finally, last 2 plays being able to connect here with Dave Burr. Let's see if 3rd time's the charm.
1st and goal at the 4. We expected to see these long drives out of Mexico City tonight, not Houston. Hand off to GP. Touchdown, Headhunters!
GP Wells in the end zone, something that nobody is surprised about. Again, last time these teams met, scored 2 touchdowns on the ground, already matching half of that total last time these teams met with 1 early here in the 2nd quarter.
Jalen leading the way once again, and Houston takes the first lead of the night. That caps a 14-play, 72-yard, 5-minute drive that included 6 runs and 7 passes. That is about as efficient as you can get, and GP Wells dots the exclamation point. Extra point is good, 7-3. Houston on top of Mexico City. Liking the game so far? Smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. The SFL produces over 400 events a year, don't I know it? There is no one else that gives you more football. Don't miss a minute of SFL or SFLM action and help the channel grow through your support. Thank you for helping the SFL reach 10 years of operation through your viewership. Jeffrey Daggs on the return. 3 yards deep in the end zone. Daggs out to the 22-yard line. And we will see Jordan Sight back out on the field. 5 of 8, 40 yards and a pick. So far this evening, the pass intercepted by Josh Rowe. Mexico City's first possession.
And Jordan Sipe, again, he has some big shoes to fill here. And taking over for Matt Wilson. Again, hasn't had the best season so far, but he's slowly finding his groove with Mexico City.
1st and 10 of the 22. They toss it outside, and Houston had seemingly their entire defense over there to cover that play. Rowe with the TFL loss of 1.
Again, Josh Rowe making another huge tackle there. Again, last week, a goose egg on the stat line, Cam, and he's showing why he's one of the best safeties in the league.
2nd down and 11 at the 22-yard line. Handoff. Jones hurdled over a couple of players on the ground. Rowe makes another stop. A 7-yard gain brings up 3rd and 4.
You know who we haven't seen tonight, Cam, from Mexico City, who typically is a big factor in this offense?
Ray Bentley?
Ray Bentley.
There you go. Yep, you're right. Just 1 carry for 5 yards. There he goes. Right on cue. Again, Paul 2 for 2 tonight, but Bentley is short of the sticks. Zed Markov with another tackle, his 4th, and Mexico City off to punt again.
As far as the season goes, I was shocked that they were rushing it there with Ray Bentley. He's the league leading target getter in between any team in the league. I believe he has 24.
Wow.
24 receptions in 2 games.
That's a lot, and it's kind of flown under the radar, right? Because you think about guys like Robert Merrill and guys like Jason Williams and the Sioux Falls offense, Syke McBride. Those teams use a lot of swings, but Mexico City pretty quietly has turned Ray Bentley into a pass-catching force.
And my apologies, 23 receptions, 24 targets.
Tomato. 1st and 10 at the 35 for Houston. 7-3, 6:56 to go in the first half. Burr fires it outside. That is ruled incomplete. Looking for Mike St. Green, who's a little topsy-turvy on his cruise. 2nd down.
Mike St. Green's another big name for these Houston Headhunters. Again, another big, deep threat. Last time that these teams met, 100 yards only on 3 receptions and long of 48. To be able to get open like Mike St. Green does, you got to get him more involved earlier.
2nd and 10 at the 35. Handoff. Wells lost a yard. More TFLs in this game. This is Matthew Alvarado's 6th tackle, 2nd behind the line. He's going to catch Derek Williams, who had 14 solos for Sioux Falls earlier this week.
Matthew Alvarado doubling his total from last week, only had 3 in their loss to Baltimore. So to come out here and start with 6 in the first half, he's off to a strong start.
Burr has been living on 3rd and long, and Skylar Kingsley gets the first sack of either team tonight. Finally, the 3rd and long crisis for Houston pays dividends for the Aztec D, and Houston will have to punt.
And another surprising thing here, that's only the 3rd sack for Mexico City this season.
Wow.
So again, Skylar Kingsley with his 2nd leads the team with 1 and now leads the team with 2.
Simeon gets beat on the line off that left side. Houston's punter, Ron Foster, boots it away. Dags back to return. Hasn't had much room to return tonight, but has a little bit of space this time from the 34 to the 39-yard line. That's where Sipe will start with it with 5:45 to go in the first half.
Pretty good field position here to start right outside the 40-yard line. Again, down 4. Got to get some points up before halftime.
Houston 0-2, lost here at home to DC in overtime last week. Lost by 3 at Charleston week 1. Sipe's pass is hauled in for a pickup of 4. Mexico City lost to Baltimore last week and won their season opener in Carolina. 2nd and 4. $5:20 to go in the first half. It's a chess match, and Jordan Sipe fumbled the ball, and it's recovered by the Aztecs up front. That is number 68 with the recovery. Nikki Gushin, 6'5", 315, but a dangerous moment there as Houston's KT Slayer came up and forced the fumble on Sipe. Now Houston jumps offside, so we'll reset at 3rd and 6.
Again, we're used to these offenses being high flying. Houston was the number 4 scoring offense, now number 13. Their defense has been stepping up big here as Aztecs are going to accept that neutral zone infraction.
Week 4 action kicks off Saturday with another 6-pack of SFL games, headlined by another primetime duel in Vancouver, where the Legion will host Johnny Reno and the red-hot Minnesota Legend. Other action includes a battle for the top spot in the East Division between Jacksonville and Atlanta. Plus, Alamo City will go to war with DC. Coverage starts at 1 p.m. Eastern, only on SFL YouTube. 3rd down and 6, off the penalty, and it's a first down. Now Mexico City going quickly. Surprisingly off the, but the penalty ended up helping keep this drive alive. That was Terrell Cooper on the last reception. That pass is knocked away, and now Mexico City has gone full-blown fever.
Yeah, they want to play fast. They want Houston to keep up with them.
Hand off to Ray Bentley, only got a yard. They're going to give the Headhunters the ball back with more time than maybe expected here to go before the first half. They can't convert this 3rd down. Sipe's pass is caught by Nick Lockett, his first catch of the night, and the Aztecs end up having the no-huddle pay off for him. Slow it back down after the first down.
Again, not going to give the ball back to Houston here just yet. Again, way to stay in the pocket by Jordan Sipe there and just to deliver that pass there to Lockett. Just move the chains.
Jordan Sipe, 8 of 12 for 71 yards and a pick. Nothing flashy, but keeping the football moving here for the Aztecs on this drive. Handoff. Jones picks up a yard. Both teams just, nothing deep. Nobody's given up anything big. We've seen 11-play drive and a 14-play drive go for scores. This is play number 9 on this Aztec drive.
Yeah, nothing comes easy in the SFL, Cam. You gotta work for every single play.
Sipe down the field, caught down
Beautiful
to the
throw.
4-yard line. Pass hauled in by Bartley. And Mexico City's going no huddle again here before the 2-minute warning.
Sipe must like this, like what he sees.
He trots up to the line. Oh, he had a wide open player. That was Van Dam, and then Mexico City's challenge. This is some cocaine-style offense here in the second quarter from Mexico City. They are just at a blazing pace, doing everything at the moment, and I don't think Ramos Lynn's going to win this challenge. He looked clearly out of bounds. Van Dam was wide open.
I don't think they're going to give him that one. Like you said, Van Dam wide open at the top of the screen.
And that'll cost Mexico City a timeout. Not a big deal at the moment, but what's the rush? Ramos Lynn in the chat, worth noting, says, I'm drunk on Dos Equis, folks. Don't mind me. So apparently that's what's happening. But just a truly bizarre sequence of events here. Now the 11th play of the drive. 2nd and goal with the Houston 4. 3 backs in the backfield. They'll hand it off. It is a flat line at the 3.
Huge
for
hit.
Jones. They're going no huddle again. Josh Rowe with the tackle, his 5th of the half. 3rd and goal at the 3. Once again, same play. Oh, he got him again. Oh, man. Woo-hoo. At the goal line, Josh Rowe, man with a capital M, forces a field goal. What a wacky possession.
Huge hits by Josh Rowe. Back-to-back hits on the running back.
Dang. Josh Rowe saved some for everybody else. 2-minute warning here in Houston.
What a way to hold Mexico City to 3 points here.
Phoenix Jones, not his finest half. That's thanks to Josh Rowe and company, 39 yards on 10 carries. The field goal is good. So in the first half, we have had 3 scoring drives of over 10 plays. And it has led to a much lower scoring game than we expected. But it's not because these teams have not moved the football. 143 yards of offense for Mexico City, on pace for a 3 spot. Houston, 83 yards of offense. And believe it or not, of the 83 yards of offense, 72 came on the scoring drive as Sim gets the ball, or Corky rather, gets the ball up to the 30. Coming up on the APM Music Halftime Report, SFL Studio contributors Chris Curtis, a.k.a. White Noise, and Tyler Falk, a.k.a. Flat Cap, will break down the first half between the Mexico City Aztecs and the Houston Headhunters, give their keys to victory for the second half, and share their thoughts on a wild and wacky Week 3, the unbeatens, the undefeateds. It's all coming up on the APM Music Halftime Report. Hand off to Jalen Wells, picks up 7. And we'll see what Houston does with 2 minutes. They certainly don't seem to be in as big a hurry as the Aztecs were on the last possession.
All these nicknames, Cam. When are we going to get a superhero nickname? That's what I'm wondering.
Well, we already have a spectacular, so I don't know what else.
The Spectacular 2.
2nd and 3 at the 37. We're going to have to work on that. GP Wells, first down to the Houston 47-yard line. And, Houston's moving the football here with a couple of runs. Let's see what they do on first down. The Spectacular Deuce. Yeah. We deserve that one. They Burr. Oh, face mask. That may be a personal foul variety, which may stick them into field goal range. That was a terrible time for a penalty. Mexico City playing surprisingly undisciplined here in the first half in multiple ways. They actually call an incidental face mask. That's fortunate for Ziggy Blaylock and the Aztecs. We'll see where they spot this football.
Again, Mexico City's defense has stepped up for them big time this season, but just a poor decision there with the accidental face mask. Again, they're going to place it here right at the 50, a little beyond the 50 in Mexico City territory.
Skip with the $4.99 super chat with White Noise and Flat Cap on the halftime show of Rare. 1st and 7 coming up for Dave Burr and GP Wells. Wells spins back inside and got a first down to the 42. Now Houston will hurry things up. 48 seconds to go, all 3 timeouts. High formation. Burr fires it outside. GP got a block, but spun back inside. So Houston's going to have to burn a timeout.
Shout out to number 78. Shout out to number 78 on the offensive line. Trying to get the name here, number 78.
Derek Harper.
Just back-to-back plays, going all the way from right tackle to the lead blocker for GP Wells, 10 yards down the field. Great blocking.
2nd and 6, just outside of field goal range. Houston up 7-6 in this southern tilt. Burr, the throw, fires near side, caught. Sim, timeout, didn't get out of bounds. Brody with the tackle. That's Brody's 5th. Declan O'Rourke and Michelle Colson doing a great job for us all night long in the stats truck. That gives us 1 timeout, 27 seconds left. Fringe field goal range now. $2 super chat from Curtis. You also see the look on Tyler Falk's face right now. I see it. It's glorious. 1st and 10 at the Aztec 32. Burr, pass, caught by Sim. Wow. They're out of timeouts with 23 seconds left, but an absolute dart from Dave Burr. His best pass of the night gets him over 100 yards for the half.
We're going to take another look at this.
Woo!
What a throw to fit that. If he threw that a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, that's intercepted all day. So beautiful throw there by Dave Burr to move the chains. Houston trying to put some points up before halftime.
That's a Rastelli special. Laser down the field. Houston's out of timeout, so they're pretty much forced to kick a field goal here. So they don't, if they got stopped inbounds, they wouldn't have another way to stop the clock. So we get to 10-6 with 20 seconds to go, but it gives Jeffrey Daggs and company a shot on special teams.
And Jeffrey Daggs, one of the best return men of all time. Again, if I was this Houston special teams here, I have one goal in mind, and that is to bring Jeffrey Daggs down.
8-play, 59-yard drive, 4 passes, 3 runs. Burr was 4 for 4 on that series, now 14 of 19 for 108 yards for the game. 3 yards deep in his own end zone, Daggs switches hands, now cuts back left, and is wrapped up at the 21. Houston's done a nice job on him tonight. Jordan Sipe just shy of 100 yards right now, 9 of 14 for 95. And if I were the Aztecs, I'd just run this thing out. Get this over to Curtis and Falk in the studio.
Who?
Oh, sorry. White Noise and Flat Cap in the studio.
Oh, man.
First and 10 at the 21. He made me do it. Sipe fires, caught, and he got it. No timeout, though. Instead, what is Bartley doing? He's jawing with the defender, and they weren't set. This first half for Mexico City is all over the place. You have got to know where you are and what you need on the field there if you're Jason Bartley, who has 4 catches in the first half.
As you mentioned earlier, just Mexico City is just playing a bit undisciplined right now. So I'm sure Ramos Lynn's going to have a few words for this team in the locker room at half.
A frantic first half for Ramos Lynn and company in prime time. 3 backs in the backfield. Looks like the Aztecs will just try to run this out. 4-3 look out of Houston's front. Sipe. Now he wants to take his time. Hands off. Jones. Absolutely nothing. Boy, they've been all over him. Kai Cash with his 5th tackle of the evening, and that brings us to the end of the first half. And what an interesting first half it was. 10-6. Houston leads Mexico City. And Paul, give me your first half thoughts.
First half thoughts, again, GP Wells with the lone touchdown of the night so far. Again, Mexico City just has to tighten up a little in how they're playing. Again, just playing a little sloppy, not really getting on the same page offensively. Defense, though, is keeping them in it, keeping it a close game. Again, if I'm Houston, I'm just going to continue to do what we're doing. Defense is playing incredible. Get GP Wells going. You got DR Sim on the outside, Mike St. Green. It's been a good one so far, and excited to get this second half started.
Josh Rowe officially credited with 7 solo tackles, leads all players. He has been terrific and is pretty much the reason why Houston leads this game. Outside of GP Wells' touchdown, he prevented a touchdown and then prevented another score as well for Mexico City with his interception. If you're just joining us, this is the 18th meeting of this terrific rivalry. Houston leads Mexico City 9-8 all time in the season series, so you know it is it's a great time anytime these two get together. You know what else is a great time when 2 people get together? Tyler Falk, Chris Curtis. They're back at SFL Studios. Let's send it there for the APM Music Halftime Report. Take it away, boys. You are muted.
All right, I'll be right back. Did they just say White Noise and Flat Cap?
Where's Dave Axis when you need him, ladies and gentlemen? Hey, Curtis. Well, Mr. White Noise continues to be Mr. White Noise and continues to talk along. I'm Tyler Falk. Happy to have you alongside with us. But yes, Chris Curtis, you're muted, bro.
That's where we're at.
There we go. There we go.
Excellent.
See, it's just like everything else. Cam and Paul were perfect.
Just
because
realized I
you
did
were
that.
Mr.
Yep,
White Noise.
absolutely. Welcome back in. Let's try this one more time. APM Music Halftime Report is on your screen. I am white noise. That is flat cap. We'll try to streamline this a little bit as I find my my unmute button. The high scoring baseball game we have in Houston, 10-6. The Headhunters have the lead over the Aztecs at the moment. Tyler, this game, not what we typically see in this rivalry. Give me your thoughts.
No, definitely not what we see in the rivalry, but we've gotten plenty of it over this past weekend. Lots of field goals, lots of kickers being on display. Yay, Verdi. And then we've got Vancouver and Atlanta's game being all this one-sided and all very tight-knit and, well, uncomfortable for a lot of folks. But if we just take a look at what's happening here, Curtis, it's before the last Houston scoring drive. It had to take scoring drive in this game had to take over 4 minutes to happen, or over 10 plays. Houston's last drive, an 8-play, 1 minute 40-second drive, the outlier of the 4 scoring drives we've seen so far today. But it really has been Houston's ability to stop the run, completely nearly neutralizing Phoenix Jones on the ground, less than 4 yards per carry, which is not normal from the Aztecs rushing attack.
And honestly, I mean, aside from the GP Wells touchdown, the running game for Houston really hasn't been going as much either. They're doing better than Mexico City by all stretches. But that was one of the keys to the game, according to Mike O'Neill, was them getting both teams getting the running and passing games going. Neither one has really been completely dominant in that facet. So a good second half likely brewing, as it usually does, between these two sides. Talking about the league as a whole, want to go to the rest of week 3 and everything before it. You had some time to think about this. I was trying to find out your biggest surprises and your biggest disappointments through week 3 of the SFL regular season.
Well, I've got a couple positives, couple negatives, of course.
Sure.
Back in week 1, when Netma had a little snapshot into what something like this would look like, we've now had, a larger gestational period of SFL action. And we can officially say that San Diego, who probably had one of the lowest floors of expectations coming out into season 20, have really put a little shocking on to all of us, gone 3-0 and looked very comfortable doing so. Minnesota looking very dominant. Doesn't seem to me like they're really going to do anything too crazy, but right now, very strong, very tough team to play against. And of course, Jacksonville, even though with the loss to Louisiana last week, it really impressed me with how efficient OJ Bruin has been at the under saddle at the quarterback spot. Couple of maybe 50-50 balls. I'm going to put Seattle in this one because, yes, they're 0-3, but they really surprised us this past week with how well they played Indianapolis, who, an underlying team under a lot of people's radar. Indianapolis playing really well compared to last season, already 2 wins. That's one less than what they had, one less than what they had a season ago. Watch out for Indianapolis. But I think the biggest surprise is definitely the Storm. 0-3, falling to Tulsa for the first time in franchise history. Not typical of a Florida team, though they've done it before and they have made the playoffs before. But I think this season might be, at least 10 to 20 times harder than season 15.
No, I mean, at this point, they got to win. Assuming the magic number is going to be 7, they got to win essentially 7 of their last 9 games to be able to get into the playoffs at that point. So we'll see if they're able to pull some rabbits out of some hats as far as that goes. And back to Minnesota real quick before I move on. There's arguments there that they're the second best team in the league right now.
Right now, they absolutely look like it. They went 28-3, and of course, you have to let some sort of a comeback in if you have a 28-3 lead. But
yeah,
Minnesota they've done it through the air first couple of games, and all of a sudden, Chris Komasak goes absolutely mental in the fullback spot and gets a hat trick of touchdowns and gets double the number of carries than Colin Hart did, but they combine for 5 total rushing touchdowns on the night. And it seems they can do what Baltimore can do. They can hit you and hurt you in multiple different ways, which is exactly the kind of offense you need to go up against the best team over the past 5 seasons.
Maybe this answer is already something you've mentioned, and I'll risk it just for the entertainment value. Your best 0-3 team right now.
the best 0-3 team right now is Florida, and we're not even going to mention Houston 0-2, maybe going to 0-3 because right now they're in the lead. But regardless, out of the teams that we know are 0-3, it has to be Florida. Los Angeles doesn't seem to really have an effective game plan just yet. Things are still being worked out. Richardson's still trying to figure things out at the quarterback spot. Queen City, lots of turmoil there in the last couple of seasons, new coaching staff. We've talked about it before, but I think the most competitive 0-3 team right now is definitely Florida.
Okay, and then I'll extend this a little bit to the 1 and 2 teams as well. Which one do you think has the best chance to turn it around if it's not Florida?
I'm actually going to go with Portland on this one. Not Denver City, Motor City, DC, or Charleston, but Portland. They maybe have turned something around after the win versus LA and maybe have something figured out. It's going to be an interesting showcase because Portland have never made a really good run of games. The next couple of games for Portland will be telling to see whether or not they can put things together. But out of the 1 and 2 teams, my money's on Portland to even surmount DC and maybe making a surprise run for the playoffs.
No pun intended, but would love to see Ezekiel Love and company get something going up in the Pacific Northwest. That being said, that is about all of the time we have here at SFL HQ. It is a 10-6 ball game on the Cam and Paul Monday Night Spectacular as the Tyler and Chris halftime spectacular draws to a close. We'll see you after the second half for post-game thoughts and wrap up. And until then, it is Cameron Irvine and Paul Sarp back in the booth. Guys, take it away for the second half.
Thank you, Curtis. Back here to start the second half of play. And actually, that was Jordan Sipe after the Jeffrey Daggs kick return, trying to take a sneak up the middle, lost a yard. So the second half does not start all that great for Mexico City in the calm department, as Sipe will fire it outside and caught by Bartley for a 5-yard pickup to set up a 3rd down and 6. And Paul, I won't be winning any awards for production tonight, but we're going to power through the second half, and we've got a good one to get us there.
And after, like you said, after a not-so-calm first half, coming out here in the second half, Mexico City with a not-so-calm start, but we got, tip pass there, trying to get the first down. Cam, we're going to see another punt from Mexico City.
Hartshorn again with the deflection. That's his second of the night. Both teams have 3 passes defended. Matthew Alvarado, 7 solo tackles, 2 TFLs in the first half. Gerard Brody with 5 solo tackles. Josh Rowe with the 6 and the TFL. Stop Phoenix Jones on the goal line stand. Both defenses playing sharp tonight. From the 25-yard line up to the 30 goes Greg Corky. That'll be a first down for the Headhunters. A look at your first half stats. Neither team doing all that well on 3rd down, but it's been a pretty even game up to this point. You see the average yards per play. Nothing to be excited about, 4.2, 3.9. In fact, we have had 0 plays of over 30 yards in this football game. To give you context, Canton and Denver had 1 this week. 1st and 10 at the Houston 30. Handoff to GP Wells, and Wells is dragged down after an 8-yard pickup. Dexter Jackson on that stop.
Yeah, GP Wells about one tackle away from taking it to the house there. Again, Houston trying to get GP Wells involved early in the second half again, and as Mike said, as Tyler said, as I've said, you got to keep GP involved and keep the ball rolling.
2nd and 2 at the 39. Burr, deep shot, one-handed catch is hauled in by DR Sim with some style to the Mexico City 40, and the Headhunters have a first down.
And we've seen DR Sim make hundreds of catches like that. And again, he's just out there having some fun, Cam.
Makes it look easy. Guy's still pretty ripped. Seen him in person. He's working on it. 1st and 10 at the Aztec 40. 8:55 to go in the third. Handoff GP, wrapped up. Mexico City doing a great job of open field tackling tonight. In fact, both teams are. That's Alvarado once more, his 8th solo tonight.
Again, Alvarado, the lead tackler here in this game. In the past 2 weeks, you have Zed Markov and John Fowler both on each team leading their teams in tackles.
2nd and 5, Burr, 7-step drop back, sacked off the right side. Skylar Kingsley makes the play, 2nd sack of the night.
Again, couldn't come at a better time. Trying to change the tide and the direction of this game, trying to get this Houston offense off of the field. And Skylar Kingsley, 2nd sack of the night.
3rd and 12. This has got to be the 5th time Houston's been in 3rd and 10 or longer tonight. Burr throwing, tipped and intercepted. Now it's a foot race. Oh, really nice job by GP Wells. Shuts down on Jermaine Menefield. First turnover of the night for Dave Burr. And it's on Houston's first possession of the second half.
So far this season, we've seen a couple too many Dave Burr interceptions. That's going to be his 9th on the season, leading the league in interceptions thrown. So not a great outcome there for Houston in the second half. Mexico City looking to capitalize on this interception.
Liam Ryan on the deflection. Houston had kept a clean sheet after 9 turnovers in the first 2 games. Not clean anymore. Sipe out of the gun. 1st and 10. Wobbly pass. Arm was hit as he threw, looking for Bill Henry down the field. That's Butch Menor applying the pressure. 2nd down.
Again, as you mentioned not too long ago, not a whole lot of deep shots here in this game. Again, just kind of keeping it simple, just trying to take the out routes to the receivers, get a couple yards, run the ball, keep it in the trenches.
2nd down at the 42. 3 wide. Handoff Jones. Jones loses a yard. That's Markov in the backfield. 3rd and long.
There's Markov. Been waiting to hear his name a little bit more. Again, has been excellent this season so far.
These running backs, Paul. I mean, nobody can get it going.
Yeah.
Here's Mexico City in a 3-back set on 3rd and long. They ran a bunch on 2nd and 3rd and long against Baltimore as well. Handoff on 3rd and 11. Jones gets 5, and they'll have to punt it again. This Aztec offense feels like they're in the quicksand right now.
Yeah, they're slowly falling in that quicksand. And again, 5 yards is not 12 yards, and they're going to be punting here on 4th down.
I never thought I'd say this, Paul, but bring back the Carolina and Charleston offense from last week. As Mexico City kicks it away, that's Corky from the 12. Gets up to the 16-yard line, and that's where Houston will set back up. No harm, no foul off the interception. Want in-depth statistics all season long? Visit the SFL website at simulationfl.net for info about the league and its 28 teams, and to see all the league records, team stats, player leaderboards, the rankings of the next class of SFL talent, and so much more. Simulationfl.net, your home for everything SFL. That run on the last play brought to you by Kyle Shanahan. 1st and 10 at the 16 as Dave Burr fires it outside, and it's caught by Mike St. Green. His first catch of the night, picks up 4.
Wow. And Mike St. Green having a quiet night. Again, he's a deep threat. You can't be afraid to take the deep shot and try and beat this defense deep. Again, it's tough when you have those safeties back there. Jeffrey Daggs being one of them, but again, you got to take a shot here at some point in this game.
For all the people that had Burr in fantasy, 16-22 for $133, not doing too much. No touchdowns either. GP Wells takes the handoff, gets 4, and Bernard Patterson on the stop will set up a 3rd and 2.
Let's see how Houston can answer after the last drive resulting in an interception. You only need a couple yards here.
Third down, 6 minutes to go in the fast-moving third quarter. Wells, nothing. Punt
there
for Houston. That's Alvarado and Montoya in there on the stop, but Alvarado just continuing to make plays in between the hash marks for Mexico City. Whew.
Yeah, how about these defenses, Cam? They have shown up to play tonight.
Second half drives as Jeffrey Daggs gets to the 47. 3-and-out punt, Mexico City. 5 plays, interceptions, Houston. 3-and-out punt, Mexico City. 3-and-out punt, Houston.
Whew. All these 3-and-outs, man. Defenses came hungry tonight. I wanted to eat these offenses up.
Worth noting that we had 3 3-and-outs in the first half, so we have now had 6 3-and-outs in this game so far. 1st and 10 at the Aztec 47-yard line, and the handoff is going backwards. Tanner and Slayer on the stop, and I got to hand it to the Houston defensive front. I have not seen Phoenix Jones this bottled up in a long time.
Yeah, again, 14 rushing attempts so far, averaging 3 yards a carry. You got to get that average up.
3 in the backfield, 2nd and 12. Jones, nothing.
Nothing.
A whole host of tacklers in on that play. We're going to give it to Jason Peace, 3rd and 12.
Just the level of play from both of these teams' defense, it's just a sight to see.
3rd and 12. Heavy. Feel like we're at a standstill. Run. Jones. 4. Punt. Again.
Number 7, Cam. Number 7 on the night.
Crazy.
You know what they say. Defense wins championships. These defenses trying to prove a point.
They also say offenses win games, and neither one of them wants to win it tonight. Coming into the night, neither offense had been blowing it up. That punt rolls into the end zone. Houston averaging 25.5 points. That's 13th best, so top half in the league. Mexico City 23.5, 17th in the league. But the defenses, 17th and 19th in points allowed so far this season. It is worth noting, though, that in the first 2 games for Houston, number 1 in total defense. They've only given up 294 yards per game, and they are killing it tonight once again. 1st and 10 of the 20. Burr going to throw down the field. Tipped. Oh, Jeffrey Daggs got fancy. He tried to one-hand it. Use both. Use both, Jeffrey.
Hands on it.
I know Jeffrey's sitting right next to Mike tonight, and I'm just talking to him just man-to-man. Both hands, dude.
Yeah, if there's an opportunity like that, I get everyone's trying to be a little fancy nowadays, but you just got to get both hands on the ball.
Go to bed, says Mike. 2nd and 10 of the 20. Missed opportunity and a tackle for loss by Fowler in the backfield. Both Wells and Jones now have an even 46 yards. It's 3rd and long again. We have had 1 first down in the quarter.
We only have 3.5 minutes left here in this quarter.
The 1 first down was the DR Sim catch. That's it. 3rd and 13. Burr, blitz, sack, a 7-yard loss on a corner blitz from Jonte Jordan. 4th and 20.
Jordan flew in there, Cam.
What a play.
Flew in there.
What a time to dial up the corner blitz. And we are taking football back in time here in this 3rd quarter. The punt is shanked and shanked off the side of his foot. Are you kidding me? I don't think I've ever seen that, ever. He just shanked it.
Not the
What is
finest punt
happening?
there.
What is happening? In the third quarter, we have seen 34 yards of anything. 34 yards of offense in the third quarter combined. Sight out to Bentley. 0.
Nothing.
This is impressive from these
Standstill.
defense. Corey Menner with the stop.
Yeah, these defenses, they're playing defense at the highest possible level right now, Cam. And again, 34 yards in the third quarter offense. Wow, that just proves that these defenses, they came to play.
Victor's Valiant going to have an easy night in the highlights here in the third quarter. Skip right over it. Hand off to Jones.
1
Got
yard.
1 yard. Zed Markov with the tackle. And I didn't see who got defense tonight, Declan or Rochelle, but whoever chose defense chose wrong tonight. They've been busy.
Non-stop all night.
3rd and long again. Mexico City out of the gun. Sight. Looking deep. Intercepted. Corey Menner. Oh my goodness. Up to the 30.
Just these defenses, Cam. These defenses. What a read by Menner there. Just he said, "Give me that." Easy pick. Gets Houston the ball back. Wow.
Jordan Sight, 12 of 20, 111 yards. QBR looking like my first test in college. 1st and 10 at the 30. 2:02 to go in the third. Houston protecting a 4-point advantage. Bird dumps it off. Jim Copeland Jr. Huzzah! 7-yard gain for Jim.
Jim Copeland, what a great pickup from Houston. Again, super active in the locker room, super active in the community. I know he is super ready to make a bigger impact than he already has made on the league and move up in the rankings of tight ends in the SFL.
2 in the backfield. Burr hands it off to Wells. Gets a great block. And GP Wells has a first down to the 45-yard line. And the home fans have something to cheer about.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've, other than that 7-yard reception by Copeland Jr., again, GP Wells gaining some yards here and something we haven't seen a whole lot of in the third quarter so far.
Wells, 50 yards on 15 carries. With a touchdown, just 17 yards on 6 receptions. Wells lost a yard. Tackle made by John Fowler, his 4th. Believe it or not, just 10 tackles for loss in this game. Mexico City has 7. 2nd and 11. Paul, if Mexico City does not score double figures, they would be the 3rd team this week to score single digits.
Wow.
Maybe some kind of record. 2nd and 11. Burr flips it outside, caught by Sim, turning the corner, breaks a tackle. DR Sim wrestled down to the ground by Alvarado, his 10th tackle. That'll set up a more manageable 3rd down for Houston into Mexico City territory.
And that's just the type of player that DR Sim is. You're not going to bring him down with one person. You got to bring a second person. Oh, wait, you still can't bring him down. So at that point, you got to bring 3 people in to tackle the receiver. Great job by DR Sim fighting for that first down. Unfortunately, couldn't get it, but might get it here, Cam.
Handoff. Jalen Wells stopped in the backfield. They tried to sneak the fullback in there, and Fowler was not fooled. 4th down, Houston. What a great stand.
And if there was an O in his name, he would be the Fuller. And you can't fool him, Cam. Great tackle by Fowler.
End of the 3rd. Thank goodness. Houston 10, Mexico City 6. Don't go anywhere. See who wins this game. This has been something else. Be right back.
Presentation of the Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
Put your 4s, 12s, 86s, 68s up in the chat. We have reached the fourth quarter here on Impact Monday. 10-6. Houston leads Mexico City. Punting again, although I think Mexico City's greatest enemy is how far away they are from scoring position. This ball will be returned from the 11 by Dags only up to the 13. It seems inconceivable for Mexico City to have enough yardage in the bank to go and get this score. They need 87 yards for a touchdown. They have 92 yards in the last 2 quarters combined.
Yeah, it's going to be a mighty task here for Mexico City to drive down the field, but they are only 4 points away from taking this lead. 5 points away.
Mexico City finished 11 yards in the third quarter and a 3-yard loss for Jones in the backfield. This is
Phoenix Jones. He just can't get anything going tonight.
This is unbelievable. I don't think in all my years of watching SFL football, I don't think I have ever seen Mexico City. They have not gotten a first down in 5 drives. Phoenix Jones got the first down to the 27, a pickup of 17.
Finally getting some momentum there. Phoenix Jones. Longest play for Mexico City in a while, Cam.
Jones with an excellent run. That is his longest of the night. Mexico City has 1 play over 20 yards. That was a Bartley catch. But Jones now up to 61 yards on 19 carries. 10 minutes to go. Mexico City's defense has done their job. Now their offense needs to answer. Ray Bentley picks up 7 up the middle to the 34. Slow to get up, but Dedrick Law on the stop with a heavy hit.
And I'm sure Mexico City's thankful that Ray Bentley got up after that huge hit and to stay in the game and try and help them come back and take over this ball game.
Formation handoff. Jones, nothing there. Going to be third down. Sunday on SFL YouTube, a pair of much improved 2-1 teams do battle down by the bayou when the Ryan Roosevelt and the Indianapolis Ramblers head south to take on Randy Squarebush and the Louisiana Revolution. Kickoff is at 6:45 p.m. Eastern only on SFL YouTube. 3rd and 4. Sipe. Outside, Bentley. Nothing.
Couldn't get it.
Tackle by Zarkov is 8th. And Mexico City will have to punt it again. Excellent pursuit by this Headhunter defense.
Zarkov out here headhunting, playing like a man possessed right now.
Houston hoping to collect a second trophy for their wall, or a first trophy rather for their wall to start this season. So close to the Predator and Dragon over the first couple of weeks. Forkey on the return from the 28-yard line. Not much room. More terrific hits. I don't think the broken tackle numbers in this game are very high, and Houston will start from their own 31. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. Shotgun empty here for Burr to start the drive. Burr fires outside, caught by St. Green. 5-yard gain to the 36-yard line. Liam Ryan on the tackle.
And Cam, I'm just watching these defenses play. It's just, I'm in awe right now. And as far as last season, both teams were 21st and 22nd respectively in yards allowed per game, to now Mexico City being number 5 with 323 and Houston, like you said earlier, being number 1 with 294 yards allowed a game.
Great point, Paul. The defense is super improved from last season. Bird deep down the field. Caught! Oh! Caught by Sam down to the 16-yard line. Check that. Greg Corky takes the top off the defense. And Houston is in scoring position.
Shot out of a cannon there. And what a play, what a throw. When the defense wasn't expecting it, you've been seeing all these short runs and dump off out routes. You finally send it over the top and air it out. What a great play.
Corky now 71 yards on a couple of grabs, and Wells loses a yard the very next play. Mexico City needs to hold to a field goal to keep it a one-score game. That's Jackson again on the stop.
Again, moving here in the red zone, trying to increase this lead. Let's see what we got.
That pass to Corky was 48 yards. Thanks to Declan O'Rourke, Rochelle Colston in the stat truck. 2nd down, 11. Burr. Back to pass, going to the end zone. The pass is caught. Touchdown, Houston. DR Sim and the Headhunters build a 10-point advantage.
What a great route by DR Sim. Just right over the safety there.
Oh, man.
There was no catching him.
Had the linebacker in his zone. Alvarado couldn't hang with him. Devastating play there for Mexico City's defense, and Houston now has a seemingly insurmountable 10-point lead. If Houston wins this game, Paul, only Alamo City will be above 500 entering week 4.
Wow.
Which is unusual for the South. A quick 4-play, 68-yard drive for Houston has them up 17-6. That would be Alamo City, the lone team above 500. Fort Worth 1-1 was on a bye this week. Takes on Carolina Saturday.
Cam, DR Sim just adding a lead to his record. That's going to be 133 touchdowns in his career so far.
Mexico City a long way away from 133 touchdowns. They need at least 2 or a field goal and a 2-point conversion to get them back into this one. Sipe averaging 5.3 yards per attempt. Mexico City continues to passively work the football down the field. Jones is going to lose a yard. This is not working. Houston, I mean, they are vicious up front. Tom Tanner, who's had a quieter night than I expected, picks up the TFL.
Again, had 2 last week against DC, but I'll tell you what, the defensive coordinator for this Headhunters squad, again, the game plan that they had coming in here to shut down this rushing offense has worked to perfection so far.
Sipe out to Bentley. Blockers weren't set up. Bentley made something out of nothing, picks up 5. Dedrick Law with the tackle. Another 3rd down for Mexico City. Just 3 of 12 tonight.
Wow. Both teams struggling all night on 3rd down. You have to get those numbers up to win the ball game. But Houston, again, with an 11-point lead, the 3rd downs have not mattered much for them.
3rd and 6. Sipe over the middle. Bill Henry, 1st down. His first catch since the first quarter. Gets the ball up to the Aztec 35. And Mexico City doesn't need to hurry. They can go down and get 8 points on this drive. That could take a few minutes off the clock. They just need to string together plays like that.
Again, Mexico City loves their tight ends. So with Mike Daggs retiring last offseason, these 2 tight ends, they have a lot big shoes to fill here. Last time these 2 teams met, Daggs had 161 yards.
3 in the backfield. Jones gets a block past midfield, and Jones has a 17-yard pickup, equaling his best run of the night, up to the Houston 48.
Hey, these yards add up, Cam. Again, second 17-yard run, having a little bit, somewhat of the same second half as the first half, but finally breaking out, getting past that 1st down marker, and seeing some grass in front of them.
Buford, Van Dam, these boys are hitting out here. Van Dam does not have a carry tonight, but he is an expert run blocker as he was in San Jose in the minors. 4 receivers for Sight, first down and 10, 5:08 to go. Flips it outside. That is hauled in by Terrell Cooper. Third catch. Nick Lockett, really quiet tonight, Paul. 1 catch on 4 targets for 17 yards. 2nd and 4.
And I love that play call, and I see what Mexico City's trying to do here. They're trying to just gain as many yards as they can while trying to keep as much time left on the clock as they can.
2nd and 4 at the 42. Sight, 7 in the box, hands off to Jones, short 3rd down, and they're going no huddle.
Here we go.
3rd and 2 at the 40. This is, I don't know about this. This is where you want to do it. Jones is going to get the first down, but they're stuck. This could end up a mess. They got to at least get into field goal range. Jones gets to the 35, gain of 2. They have nothing else. Jones planted by Tanner. Coming alive in the 4th quarter. It's 3rd and 8. They're going to run out of time. They're going to run out of downs, I should say. They got to at least get into field goal range. Jones does that, so at least they can kick here and make it a 1-score game. What a disaster for the Aztecs. Back-to-back weeks late in games. They're going to have to solve that heading into week 4.
Yeah, just unfortunate series of events there. But like you said earlier, you don't need 2 touchdowns to win this game.
49-yarder. They at least need this, and he missed it.
They needed that one.
Chaz Blackwater comes up short, and it's all for nothing.
Wow, they really needed that one.
About
2 yards short, Cam.
And now Houston will take over. Boy, that is just that's a rough watch there for the Aztecs. They finally get some first downs and connect a drive. 11 plays, 46 yards. Jordan Sipe went 3 for 3 on that drive, but just didn't get the opportunities. And GP Wells picks up 2 to try to run the clock out here.
Again, Houston just trying to hold on to the ball for as long as they can. With the last 2 weeks Houston's played, if I'm Houston, I want another score here to just pad the lead, get a little bit more comfortable. No more. If I'm Houston, I don't want any more 3-point finishes.
There's been 1 quarter in this game for either team where a team has gone over 100 yards. That was Houston in the 2nd quarter, 101.
Wow.
Houston's at
Just
70 at the moment. 2nd and 8 at the 40. Oh, and Wells goes backwards. That's not going to help. Dan Tritz with the tackle. So, I mean, it's 3rd and 11. Mexico City can get the ball back here if Houston can't find a way to move the sticks.
And there is still time on the clock. We still have a game here. Mexico City still has 3 timeouts. We might be in for a interesting finish.
3rd and 11. 2:20 left. Houston does have to snap it before the 2-minute warning. Burr down the field, caught. St. Green, and that'll be a first down. What a huge play. They'll get the 2-minute warning, but essentially 1 more first down is going to end this game. Great throw from Burr.
A great time for Mike St. Green to make another appearance there, getting that first down. I believe that's the 7th or 8th third down conversion.
Houston making it happen. Hadn't always been pretty. They're getting it done. 17-6. Houston on top. 2 minutes left. You're watching the SFL on YouTube, presented by APM Music. So 1 more first down is going to ice this. For Mexico City in a primetime moment against a rival in a primetime game, it's been a dud. from their offense. GP Wells takes a 4-yard pickup. Mexico City calls timeout. Paul, this defense has got to be frustrated because they were awesome. Matthew Alvarado,
Absolutely.
Liam Ryan, Gerard Brody, among others. Skylar Kingsley had a couple sacks. They were terrific.
Yeah, this defense has to be tired at this point. Again, they've been out there a lot tonight, and to only allow 17 points to this point, the defense hasn't been the problem here tonight. It's most definitely been the offense for Mexico City.
Hand off to Wells, and not going to get the first down, so the suspense is killing us. Kingsley with the tackle. Mexico City down to 1 timeout. It'll be 3rd down and 5. Stick around after the game. We'll send it back to SFL Studios where Chris Curtis and Tyler Falk will break down the Mexico City-Houston matchup, put a bow on Week 3, and preview next week's Impact Monday matchup. That is Florida versus Portland. After the game right here on SFL YouTube. That's going to be a huge game. The Storm cannot fall to 0-4. Portland looking to get to 500 and pull an upset. Wells does not get the first down. And with Mexico City out of timeouts, Paul, I'd like to see Houston just go for this and end it.
Houston most definitely can end it here. Again, 4th down, no timeouts left for Mexico City. A first down seals the game. Let's see what we're going to get.
Well, they are going to punt. I'm a little surprised, honestly.
Wow.
The last punt shanked off the side of the foot. This one a better kick. Still not a great kick. It's going to hop into the end zone. But good news, Paul. At least Jeffrey Daggs didn't get a chance to return it. So it goes back in the hands of the Aztec offense. There's one pass play of over 20 yards tonight. They need a miracle. Mexico City loses. They'll fall to 1-2. Next week, the Aztecs go to Charleston, in a game both teams will desperately want. Flip out to Ray Bentley. He's not going to be able to get out of bounds. Picks up 6. Houston next week is off, so they'll get to go into the bye week feeling better about themselves. They are at Fort Worth in week 5. 2nd down and 4. Clock is still running. No timeouts left for Mexico City. That pass is caught there by Lockett for a 6-yard gain. This is definitely not an offense that's built to come back, Paul.
Yeah, again, with losing your number 1 target in Mike Daggs, losing one of the best quarterbacks ever in Matt Wilson, again, not the same offense that we're used to seeing from Mexico City.
Ray Bentley picks up a first down. Actually had a lot of space out there to the Aztec 45, but I mean they need 11 points, and they're not going to get it doing that. Ray Bentley with a 1-yard pickup, yet another tackle for this Houston defense. 38 seconds left. Sipe fires over to Lockett. That pass nearly intercepted.
We have another 3rd down, Cam.
Yeah, another 3rd down. How about the 16th of the game for Mexico City, the 29th overall in this contest. And Houston was given up 263 coming into tonight. They give up 259 at least to this point. So their number 1 league average is actually going to improve, it would appear. 3rd and 9. Run. Jones, 4. 4th down. I suspect, Paul, we are going to see a much different Mexico City team on the field in week 4, because that ain't going to cut it.
Yeah, the 3 running back set, the running back committee, it can work. Again, just this game, you gotta fine tweak it a little bit and figure out the spreads of how many targets each running back's going to get. But like you said, I would suspect we'll see a little bit. A couple things different from this Mexico City offense next week.
Credit Mexico City's defense. They did an excellent job on Phoenix Jones, and if they hadn't, this could have been a totally different game tonight. Phoenix Jones, 3 yards per carry, 88 yards on 29 carries. They really did a nice job on him. Victory formation for Houston. And wow, the Headhunters. Well,
get it done.
They got their route in a way, won by 11, 17-6. Didn't have to sweat out a 1-score game, and they get to wrap it up tonight and get their first win of the season to improve to 1-2. Let's take it to Chris Curtis and Tyler Falk. Hopefully they're unmuted for post-game updates. Take it away, fellas.
And the freshly unmuted Flat Cap and White Noise with you. I see you, Cam, on the so subtle reminder that you gave us. Welcome back in to SFL HQ. Houston gets their first win of the season, goes to 1-2. They take out Mexico City, and for the first time, Tyler, since season 15, thanks to Hunter Norwood for this stat, the Mexico City Aztecs held to single-digit points. Their last one, a 31-7 loss to Baltimore in week 8 of season 15.
This is totally or nearly unprecedented, Parker, as we've known Mexico City to be a stable offense, a stable project, if you will. But this season is a season of change, a season of new, a season just not going Mexico City's way. They haven't been able to throw down the field. We don't see a familiar 1-2 dynamic punch from them. There's so much to learn about Mexico City and for them to learn, and are still finding their way. And it's tough. It's tough for the Aztecs. And it's tough to watch them like this because we've always known the Aztecs to be a solid team. Now it opens the door for, we were talking at a half, 1 and 2 teams to maybe, capitalize, like Portland, like DC. But Houston takes advantage in a game, or a second half rather, that had not a whole lot to it. I had to stop myself from yawning a few times because the two most exciting plays were DR Sim finally finding the end zone and a shanked punt in the second half. Just not a whole lot of spark in that second half.
When there's a game where half of the possessions on both sides end up in a punt and or a turnover, turns into a defensive slugfest, to say the least. And then Houston finally got the better of that defensive slugfest going into the second half. Gonna touch base with Mexico City just a little bit more here before we move on to Houston. But the biggest thing you mentioned is they're still figuring things out. And we know that's because of unprecedented changes in the offseason due to things outside of their control. And absolutely no, but if you look at Ramos, you look at Mike Dykes, you look at the rest of this Mexico City ownership and coaching staff, they're not going to be a squad to make excuses.
No, that's something that Ramos has never done. He's an excellent coach. He's an excellent owner. The Mexico City organization is solid from top to bottom. They brought in Jordan Sipe because they liked what they saw in a small sample size in Jacksonville. They know what they want Jordan Sipe to be, how they want to mold him. It just is going to take time. We need to see a much more comprehensive game plan. There was 2 times when they went hurry up just incessantly, just overdosed in the weirdest situations, in the weirdest formations, and it didn't help. And when Mexico City, after the shank punt, they start their drive on your opponent's 38-yard line. It's a shame you couldn't score points in fantastic field position.
Yeah.
It's something that they will look at, they will change, and they will improve upon. They, at this point, have realized that what they have currently has to be filtered out. And they can only make so many changes week to week.
Well, I mean, at the same time, you're talking about Jordan Sipe, there will be a time in, I would say, the not so distant future that he will mature before our very eyes. That time has not come just yet, week 3 in his second season, and it's to be expected. So no harm, no foul there. And talking about Houston, they come out and get a much needed home win. Did not have the greatest starts to the season, but now they've gotten their first win out from underneath them. They've got the wind at their back, and I mean, we could see a lot more good from Houston than bad in the coming weeks.
And Houston is crying tears of joy right now. It's not by 1 score. We didn't lose by 3. I'm personally happy for Houston because of the pain that was inflicted upon him with just so many times. Man, it was tough to watch, and Burr didn't have to throw 50 passes.
Yeah.
Tonight. He didn't have to rely on his arm, and he had himself a pretty solid day, 75% completion percentage. He let GP Wells get a good chunk of carries, 22 attempts, only roughly averaging about 2.5 yards a carry, finishing right around 55 yards on the night. But the defense stood tall. 6 tackles behind the line, no sacks for Houston, a strip sack, if I remember correctly, in one of them. But still, a much better performance and kept things tight against a team that is a little off kilter at the moment. And Houston didn't make too many mistakes, just one interception from Burr to keep things in control and in their favor, especially in a very pedestrian second half.
2 points here. One, that was also a really good job by Burr as well. He'd thrown they'd had 9 turnovers before today. Houston had, and Dave Burr comes in, he throws an interception, and half of Houston's going, "Oh, here we go again." But no, he was able to right the ship, get everything corrected so that he had an effective rest of the game. And you called it. He throwed way less than 50 times, the 29 attempts. And that's the key to success, I think, for Houston in most of their games. You have Burr throwing 30 times or less. You have GP Wells who needs to be efficient, but he doesn't need to have 10 yards to carry. And you have a good possible recipe for success out of Houston week in and week out.
And we know that GP Wells is going to have his big games. Of course, it wasn't today, but with his brother blocking in front of him, we saw it plenty of times already tonight. Jalen Wells bulldozing defenders, putting people in the shadow realm, even without the ball in his hands. It was good to see the Wellses have a solid, a workman-like rushing attack tonight. It wasn't anything, too terribly pretty, along of about 10 yards from GP.
Yeah.
But it did the job. It did exactly what Houston wanted, and that was keep the football in their hands.
Yeah. Put you on the spot, 10 seconds or less. Give me your favorite moment of week 3.
Oh, my goodness. I think the wild sequence at the end of the Indianapolis game, Indy marches down into the red zone, throws a pick in the end zone, ensuing play. Seattle throws a pick right back. 4th down conversion at a time when you really don't see a 4th down conversion at the end of the ball game. Gutsy play call. Indy with a fantastic win. And I think it stands after tonight, the game of the week, early contender for game of the season.
I like it. That puts a bow on a wild and wacky week number 3, and it's capped off with a Houston Headhunters win in a game that we don't see from that rivalry in its 18th chapter in the storybook that is those two. That said, for Tyler Falk, I'm Chris Curtis, and for Cameron Irvine, our statisticians, and everybody back at SFL HQ, goodbye and good night from SFL HQ and Sim Football Post Game. We will see you for week number 4 in just a few days' time. Have a good night and stay safe this week. We'll see you in a little while.